Fiorentina against West Ham United. Yes, West Ham United in a European final under David Moyes after what's been a difficult Premier League season, as the pyro and the DJ finish and the flags with the crests of both West Ham and Fiorentina are laid to the ground, with the flag in the centre circle completely covering the centre circle, featuring the Europa Conference League trophy. Vladimir Smica brings it out. He raises that trophy to the crowd. It is a beautiful trophy. It's a giant-sized one in the middle of the old town that you may have seen on social media. Certainly there were photos of Dean and Sam with it. It was even bigger than Dean. It would have had to have bent down to kiss Dean's heads. But I think it's a lovely trophy, and I think this competition in its second year is starting to grow and grow and will become a custom. And let's not forget, we had 3 European competitions way back in the day, in the Cup Winners' Cup, the UEFA Cup and the old European Cup. Why not have 3 more? When else are we going to get to see West Ham play Fiorentina in a European final on neutral ground in Prague? And yet I think lessons may be learned about the size of this ground not being enough. Great city, but not a substantial enough ground. Well, next year the final's in Dublin. I tried to book a hotel today. How expensive are hotels in Dublin? Wow, astonishing. So yeah, that could be very, very special next season. 50,000 at the Aviva. That will be something else. Well, the officials are in the tunnel. The teams are in the tunnel as well. Fiorentina players looking very, very focused. Little twitch of the neck just to shake out any nervousness, any problems they've got. Just like wiggle of the head, absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever. And West Ham lining up as well. Wonder if there's nerves for Declan Rice. They're wearing the orange flamed bottom of the shirt with the white top half of the shirt. But Declan Rice, steely glare towards the pitch as he waits in the tunnel with that captain's armband on. Alphonso Areola behind him. And of course, Declan Rice just leans down, has a little words with the mascot, and that is Declan Rice all over. He's got so much time for fans, for people around the game, for kids. He's such a good professional and seemingly such a good human being as well. And he will be missed by the West Ham faithful, if indeed this is his last game. Bucket hats galore in the West Ham end. And listen to this roar from both ends as the teams enter the pitch. Fiorentina to the left, just waving their flags and scarves. And away to our right, the West Ham fans, claret and blue all over, as they hold up their flags and banners. Fantastic stuff. An incredible sight from the West Ham fans. Pure art in the Eden Arena in Prague, just minutes away from the start of this final. Well, we can't hear any anthems whatsoever because the noise from the fans is astonishing. And we expected that in an arena this size. All contained, a big bowl of a stadium. Fantastic noise from both sets of fans. And what Dean was saying about the Italian fans being all congregated together behind their goal is absolutely spot on. That looks very, very impressive. There's no way that they're one person per seat. There's no way whatsoever. And there's no way I think anybody's sitting down in that group as well. Well, as the mascots break and as the teams break from their lineup to shake hands as well, we are getting closer and closer to the action, and there's more action to come as well. 2 England qualifiers coming up this month. Talksport will be live in Malta and then live at Old Trafford with the 3 Lions. Before that, this Saturday, Talksport will be live in Istanbul for Manchester City's Champions League final with Inter Milan, another Italian side. We've got a preview show live from Istanbul Friday night from 7, and then Saturday night the game itself build up from 6. But here we go. West Ham fans, are you okay? Tonight, it's hammer time. In the Premier League, it's been troubles. In the Europa Conference League, it's been bubbles, and pretty ones. So will they once again fly high tonight, or will those dreams fade and die again. It's a European final. It's live on Talksport. West Ham against Fiorentina with your commentary team. Former West Ham and England striker Dean Ashton, alongside Talksport's chief football commentator Sam Matterface.
Thanks, Adrian. Evening, everyone. Well, yesterday a giant replica of the Conference League trophy was placed at the top of the Royal Route in the centre of Prague. It's where Czech kings commence their coronation journey en route to Prague Castle. West Ham fans have come from Ilford, Dagenham, Poplar, Bow, Marlen, Forest Gate and Canning Town, further afield than that, in anticipation of the Hammers taking the crown. It was Trevor Brookings' deft header in 1980 when, as a second division team, the Hammers last grabbed hold of a piece of silverware. David Moyes was 17 and just been snapped up by Celtic. Mark Noble hadn't been born. Alvin Martin was 21. No wonder Prague is awash with claret and blue, swarming the city, hunting for the golden ticket. UEFA know they've misjudged it, housing this final in the cramped Bijou Eden Arena on the edge of the welcoming city of Prague. But the focus now must be on the football, and there is a moment of history to grasp. And those supporters who have followed their team through relegations, promotions to Viborg and Larnaca are hoping it will be Declan Rice who, in his final act as West Ham captain, lifts that gleaming silver Conference League trophy high into the Czech night. Fiorentina in vibrant purple, West Ham in their chain strip of white shirts with a flash of orange at the bottom. They will shoot from right to left in the first half. Fiorentina towards the end that the West Ham fans are in, away to our right. The referee is Carlos Ferro Grande. He'll be under scrutiny after the Fiorentina manager's comments last week. And then all of a sudden we are underway. West Ham's first final since losing to Liverpool in 2006, where Dean Ashton's 28th minute goal put them 2-0 up. And boy, is he remembered by the adoring West Ham United fans. We have fire in our belly, says Declan Rice, but sometimes, Dean Ashton, you need ice in your veins, don't you?
I mean, of course you do. We weren't able to do it. These players have got that opportunity. Lovely break already for West Ham.
Paquetá is leading it. Over the halfway line he goes. He plays it immediately to the left where Antonio takes over. He moves to the edge of the penalty area. A right-footed shot down towards the goalkeeper's right, and Terracciano drops to his right in front of the Fiorentina fans and makes a simple save. The first shot on goal from West Ham after just 43 seconds. Dean Ashton.
Exactly what you want to see from your centre forward. Mikel Antonio says to Milenkovic, this is a bit of me. I'm going to run the channel with you. I'm going to cut inside. Can you stay with me? He couldn't. He didn't quite catch the strike. It was an easy save in the end, near post. But what a great start to just say to those centre-backs, I'm here.
And Bowen's on the front foot again. This is not the cagey start that they started with at home against Outmore. They're down the left with Ben Rama, running at the left, the right back, Dodo, who takes a little nick, puts the ball out of play. It's away for a throw-in away to our left-hand side. Fiorentina with Terracciano in goal, Dodo, Milenkovic, Ranieri and Baraghi, Amrabat and Mandragora, and then Bonaventura further up the pitch. Gonzalez on the right side, Kwame on the left, and Jovic through the centre. West Ham United with Areola in goal, Sofal, Zuma, Aguerd and Emerson as the back four, Rice, Paquetá and Souček, and then up front Bowen, Antonio and Ben Rama. Foul over on the far side given against Jared Bowen, who has seemingly fouled captain Baraghi. I think it was more Baraghi kicking Bowen than the other way round. It is a free kick.
And his reaction was ridiculous. The Fiorentina captain, barely any touch, to be honest. I think there's one thing going down, there's another thing sort of throwing your head back, as the way that Baraghi has done in that instance. But again, it might be just a little sign to say to Jared Bowen, you know, you've got to be careful.
Flashback over on the far side, a little flashpoint between Antonio and Luca Ranieri. Ranieri tried to take the free kick a little bit further from the left touchline than Antonio was initially happy for him to do so he kicked the ball back, and the referee had to intervene. A referee from Spain. It is a free kick in the left full-back area for Luca Ranieri. Only 9 Serie A appearances and 6 in the Europa Conference League this season. He leaves it for Biraghi, and Fiorentina eventually get the game back underway. On that left-hand side, we played nearly 3 minutes. You're listening to Talksport. It's 0-0 in the Europa Conference League final. Big, strong header from Zuma. Gets the ball away from Kwame, but it's given away by Rice and picked up on the right side by Nico Gonzalez, who accelerates the Argentine into the right channel. Receives a return pass from Dodo, gets to the byline, cuts infield, takes on Rice. Rice commits a tackle, wins the ball. Gonzalez goes down cheaply. Is told to get up by Naif Aguirre, and then it's clipped down the left touchline towards Antonio. They were warned, West Ham United, about the dirty tricks that Fiorentina would try to apply, and we've seen a couple of examples of that in the opening 4 minutes already. Emerson mentioned it, Vincenzo Italiano talked about it openly prior to the start of this game.
Yeah, it's trying to get those little wins, isn't it? It's trying to get the referee on side. And again, it's play acting. There's no other way to say what it is from Gonzalez. He does brilliantly to start with, actually, Nicolas Gonzalez.
Well, the worst thing about this, Dean, is that he's gone down in front of the West Ham fans, who are now throwing the plastic cups that you get your beer and your Pepsi and your soft drinks in downstairs. They're sort of reusable cups. You're supposed to take them back and you get another one, and you don't have to pay the deposit. They've been thrown, and there's a good, 9 or 10 of them that have been thrown onto the pitch in that area, aimed at Nico Gonzalez because of the play acting down the right side. Now, that's not the right way to behave from the West Ham fans, but it started because he was play acting.
He was play acting. I mean, he did brilliantly to cut inside and fake to cross and go into the box, but then Declan Rice was just really strong and just put his hand across, barely any contact with the face, and he's gone down as if he's been struck in the face. But we don't want to see that from supporters. There's no way, any shape or form, supporters should be throwing anything from the stands.
Ben Rama receiving the ball from Paquetá, just couldn't get it under control and has to go back towards the halfway line. You are listening to Talksport. We're live at the Eden Arena in the Czech Republic, capital of Prague. The noise is deafening inside the stadium. West Ham in possession away to our right. West Ham haven't played for 10 days. Fiorentina have only just finished their season. The Hammers couldn't afford a sleepy start, and they started pretty lively, getting on the front foot, getting a shot away inside the first 45 seconds and testing that Fiorentina defence. A Fiorentina defence that hasn't been particularly reliable in this or any other competition. Here's Sofian Amrabat just moving up into the centre circle. He plays it wide towards the right, a couple of yards in from the right touchline inside West Ham territory is Gonzalez. Centrally is Dodo. He is the right back who moves into that sort of John Stones role, almost acts a little bit like Carl Walker, comes in from the right back into the centre of midfield just to give them an extra number in there.
Yeah, well, he comes in narrow, doesn't he, Dodo, from that right back position, and it means then Biraghi can really try and stretch Bowen high and wide on that left hand side, and then the centre backs just shuffle across. It's going to be something that West Ham will have to work with. They've just got to be careful as well when they're playing out from the back. Bonaventura, I just noticed, he's got that licence to go and really spring out and try and help Jovic.
He's also closing off the passing lane to Declan Rice and making sure that it's not Rice who receives the ball. West Ham want to try and get it into Rice, and actually Rice has just turned round to the goalkeeper Alphonse Areola and said, if that's the case, bypass the press, get it up to Antonio and we'll build from there. The ball's on the halfway line, and it's with Kwame, who's over on the left touchline, comes infield and shepherds the ball back to Sofian Amrabat. This competition may well have drawn a few sneers from some, but as Declan Rice has been saying, look at the way Roma celebrated last year. Listen to the noise inside this stadium. This is so big for both Fiorentina and West Ham United. The supporters from Florence, and they do hail from Florence, the picturesque heart of Tuscany, the club of Batistuta, Effenberg, Brian Laudrup, the club where Roberto Mancini cut his managerial teeth, famous for their vibrant purple shirts. They believe this is their destiny as much as West Ham believe it is theirs. Ball thrown in from the left full-back position for West Ham United by Emerson into midfield. Souček can't hold on to it. It's gobbled up by Mandragora and then sent wide towards the right side. This is Dodo playing it square, and it's a poor ball cut out, given to Antonio, and then he uses it badly, shovels it straight to Milenkovic just short of the halfway line. and any hope of a quick, immediate counter-attack breaks down too quickly.
That's just nerves. That's all that is. Big game, and you want to do well. Just seemed to really rush things. His feet just weren't moving in the same tempo that they should be, and that was an opportunity as well to counter-attack.
West Ham giving the ball away again, just 10 yards short of their edge of their own penalty area. It's driven by Mandragora towards the goal from 25 yards out. They did have numbers in the box there, Fiorentina, and then that shot was driven well wide by Mandragora, the Italian who made his name at Udinese. It is his best goal-scoring season of his life, but he didn't test Alphonse Areola from 25 yards there.
No, he didn't, but I think what he did do was say to West Ham, if you allow Biraghi to overlap and then open that space and you don't come out to me, I'm going to take that strike on. It's just almost that sort of cat and mouse of, you know, are you then going to come out and close me down? And if you do, I can then play it out wide. It's just trying to get the upper hand in certain areas of the pitch by trying certain things and then working that out.
Sun setting behind the main stand opposite us. We can see the light yellow sky turning into dark night. There's a few rather stormy looking clouds that have come over in the last hour or so, and it actually just sprinkled with rain just before kick-off here in Prague tonight. It's been a beautiful day, and certainly the West Ham fans have made the most of the hospitality that has been shown to them in this capital city of the Czech Republic. But it's Fiorentina on the ball, 0-0 the score after 9.5 minutes, live on Talksport. The noise is cacophonous. Rice goes up the pitch to try and win the ball off Nico Gonzalez, who picked the ball up just short of the centre circle. Rice sensed an opportunity to try and win it. Didn't quite get hold of it, but West Ham have regained possession in the left full-back position. He's got it now. Immediately, Bonaventura is on him. That's the tactic from Fiorentina. It goes back to Alphonse Areola, and it's kicked long up towards Paquetá. Benrahma trying to win a header with Dodo. Those two collide, and Dodo goes down in the right full-back position with a head injury. Paquetá is slightly concerned, puts his hand up. Those two actually mates, Dodo and Paquetá. They used to play youth football together in Brazil back in the day. They said they'll put their friendship aside tonight. Was there much in that?
I think Benrahma just about gets a little flick. Dodo thinks he's about to head it, and Benrahma just gets the flick on the ball, and he just unfortunately heads the back of Benrahma's head.
Yeah, there's a bit of blood on his face actually, Dodo.
Yeah, it's a painful one, of course, and looks a bit groggy as well.
Got to be careful. And
nothing in it, by the way. It's just really unfortunate. You think you're going to head that, and then the player in front of you just seems to climb that extra little inch to nod it away from you, and you can't pull out.
The medical staff on and giving him some attention, and he's now back to his feet after being patched up. You wonder how pivotal that collision between Bonaventura and Declan Rice will be. And I thought that might be the case, because we talked a lot about Amrabat and his influence on the game and Rice's influence on the game, but they are so far apart because they're each at the base of one another's midfield, and it's actually Bonaventura who's trying to stop Declan Rice from receiving the ball and dictating the pace of the game.
Whereas Amrabat hasn't. He hasn't really got that pressure on him to go and collect, to get a few touches of the ball and try and build an attack. It's clearly obvious that they're trying to target Declan Rice to make sure the ball doesn't go into him.
They want it back here, and it's sent wide by Paquetá out towards Bowen, who travels down the right touchline into the penalty area now by the bar lane, cuts back in left-footed, produces a cross, headed away by Milenkovic on the edge of the 6-yard area, and Fiorentina get it half clear. So foul, didn't see that Jovic was coming behind him. Jovic puts it out of play, level with the edge of the penalty area, and it goes out for a throw to West Ham United. 0-0 the score, 12 minutes gone, live on Talksport.
Oh, come on, Jared Bowen, you've got to be quicker. When you're running down the line, you've got to have your head up. You've got to think, well, is my centre-forward making a move? Antonio makes a great run. Stepped to the far, ran to the near, but he was free, just didn't get his head up.
Long throw into the penalty area. Zuma trying to get something on it. Comes back to Rice, who strikes it down towards the goalkeeper's right. It's narrowly wide of the right-hand upright. It fizzes past the goalkeeper's hand, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick. First opportunity, a sighter for Declan Rice on the edge of the area. Might have taken a deflection on the way through as well, which wasn't spotted by the officials. He scored that wonderful goal against Ghent, which really lit up this Conference League campaign for West Ham United.
I think this is half a chance for Declan Rice on the edge of the box. They're going to cause problems, of course they are, West Ham. They're good from set plays, whether that's corners, free kicks, or those long throws from Vladimir Sofal. Ball dropped to the edge of the box. Declan Rice has got time. Not much pressure on him as well. It's a really poor strike, actually. He just hits it, sort of scabs it in towards the ground. It kind of then skids away and doesn't get the direction he really needed on that strike again. Maybe a bit edgy, trying to just snatch at those opportunities.
Vladimir Sofal was just penalised for giving away a foul over on the far side. He thought it was very cheap. They didn't make the most of it. And then Paquetá, harassing Bonaventura, is complaining because he's now had a foul given against him. Penalised once again. It's a free kick just short of the halfway line for Fiorentina. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Talksport. West Ham manager David Moyes knows that they haven't had the best season in the Premier League. They tried to evolve their playing style at the beginning of the season before returning to a more pragmatic, direct style of play. But they have enjoyed their time in the Conference League a lot more. And once they were free of relegation, it's been a little reminder of some of the exciting football they can play, especially on the break. They forced the most high turnovers of any team in this season's competition and have scored 3 goals from fast breaks in it. And that will be their modus operandi tonight. Here is Bonaventura for Fiorentina in the dead centre of the West Ham half. He plays it out wide to the left now, and a chance for Biraghi to cross. It's a good block by Jared Bowen, who's so diligent in doing his defensive work. He gets back, throws his body in front of it. It spirals into the air and goes out for a throw-in level with the edge of the West Ham box.
Yeah, it's an outstanding bit of defensive work actually from Jared Bowen. He's got to do that, but he made it hard for himself because he switched off a fraction. He allowed that ball to go out to Biraghi, and he wasn't set for it, but he recovered well.
Long throw from the left side by Biraghi. He's got that in his locker as well as great set-piece delivery. It's away by Souček, flicked on by Paquetá, brought down by Antonio. Paquetá's gone down, wants treatment. They haven't given a foul for him, and it's broken on the edge of the area for Nico Gonzalez, who sort of outfoxed himself with his feet. Declan Rice pinched it. And West Ham United bring it clear towards the left-hand side, and Emerson, who gets it straight back to his goalkeeper, Alphonse Areola, who clips it high out towards the right. Sofal brings it down, used to play here for Slavia Prague, helps it on now to Antonio, and a swashbuckling run forward. He drives into the heart of the Fiorentina half, wants a foul, doesn't get it. Paquetá takes over, Amrabat pinches it really well, turns the ball over. Now Fiorentina come on the attack. Antonio just lacked that poise when he got into the final third to pick the next pass.
Yeah, he was craving a challenge, wasn't he? He was hoping for a leg to be dangled out for him to go over. No, take responsibility yourself. Strike that with your left foot if you have to, or find a little 1-2 on the edge of the box. Don't go for the easy option there. I thought he got himself into a good position, and actually in the end he probably could have reversed it into Sofal's path, who'd made an excellent overlapping run.
Fiorentina on the ball again, halfway line, played out towards the right side, touching the touchline was Dodo. He's giving it away cheaply, but again West Ham don't make the most of the turnover. It's won by Milenkovic, who slides in on Paquetá, and now Bonaventura can travel over the halfway line down the side of the centre circle. On the right as Fiorentina look at it, and then they turn the pace of the game down. Just slow it to a walking pace before moving it through to Jovic and then into Milenkovic. Milenkovic looks up, flips it forward, looking for Jovic. He's over his head, left by Zuma, and goes all the way through to Alphonse Areola. It's Talksport live in the Europa Conference League final, 0-0 after 17 minutes. And we're with Till, the card payment provider from NatWest.
They'll be really pleased if they get Fiorentina into that position where they then play that hopeful pass towards Jovic, and the 2 centre-backs can just double up on him, and they'll be too strong, too physical for him.
Talking of too physical, here's Antonio ragdolling Milenkovic over on the far side. He's penalised Antonio. He thought the foul was going to go the other way, but I tell you what, Enough got his hands full with Mikel Antonio tonight, who seems in the mood and ready to run and ragdoll defenders.
I thought he was a bit unfortunate there, actually. I thought it was an excellent run from Antonio, and I thought he just got ahead of Milenkovic.
He got wrong side of him, hadn't he?
Definitely. obviously from our position it's right across the other side of the pitch. The referee's assistant is right there, maybe feels that Antonio's pulled the shirt, but just keep doing that if you're Antonio.
Giving it away again, and Antonio can't receive it. Luca Ranieri nipped him behind him and nabbed it. Now Fiorentina turning it over, come down the right with Nico Gonzalez, the Argentine. Comes in on his left foot, centrally, just back from the edge of the D. It's played wide towards the left now, collected by Biraghi. Now Kwame takes over, back to Biraghi. They don't want to get him set to deliver the ball into the box. They've managed to win it back, played it against him, so Foul did well, and it's out for a throw into West Ham in the right full-back position. This is Talksport. Ali McCoist and Alan Brazil back on breakfast tomorrow morning. They'll pour over this Conference League final. It'll be an exciting listen tomorrow. They're always quite excitable together when they're on a Thursday morning. And straight after we finish tonight, and the phone in, the sports bar is open for business with Jason Cundy and Dean Saunders tonight when we've finished here. And I was going to say 10 o'clock, but there's no point in advertising an opening time for the sports bar tonight, because we could have extra time, we could have penalties tonight. And if it goes the distance, we'll be here on Talksport.
I mean, we talked about that first 15 minutes, Adrian talked about it with Mark Warburton being cagey, and it has been, you know, West Ham, as we've seen so often, the halfway line is basically where they set up, and deep of that, and then when they got the opportunity they will break forwards, but in that defensive shape it's rigid, it's structured, and it's well in their own half.
Bonaventura midway inside that half, travels from right to left laterally, then turns under pressure from Rice into Nico Gonzalez, who's coming off the right flank, swept towards the left, towards Biraghi by Bonaventura, and then it's with the captain Biraghi before going back to Luca Ranieri. He plays the ball infield to Sofian Amrabat. First time ball into the centre. It's overrun by Nico Gonzalez, who won back by West Ham again. They can't keep hold of it after turning it over, and Fiorentina have got possession once again, and they have had most of the possession in the game, 69% so far, but only West Ham have had a shot on target until now. Kwame, though, trying to set up Jovic, comes back to him inadvertently. They're trying to scrap to get the ball away from his feet. Eventually again manages to turn it over and smash it out towards the near side. It's away for a throw-in, and the Fiorentina fans stand in front of us and start to cheer their team towards the goal away to our right. The vibrant purple visible in pockets all around the stadium, apart from just that huge hue of purple haze away to our left-hand side. Flicked by Kwame down the right touchline. Interception from Sofao. Got to use it here. Bowen has been nudged off the ball. It's going to be a free kick tight to the touchline.
I was just watching as Fiorentina were building that up nice and slowly, looking to just find that little gap to then pierce through it with a pass. They've just got lucky actually with the ricochet into Jovic's path. He couldn't quite collect it properly, and that's where West Ham are very good. Numbers around the ball to stop any gaps. And then I looked behind the goal, and probably a good 99.9% had their arms folded in that West Ham end. It's going to be one of those really anxious nights, because when you don't have the ball, you're just constantly fearing that Fiorentina are going to make that chance.
Yeah, Fiorentina have completed 138 passes so far. West Ham have completed 44 in the game. 22 gone. It's West Ham United 0, Fiorentina 0, live in Prague this evening in the Europa Conference League final. And West Ham trying to win a trophy for the first time in 47 years in Europe. The first time since 1980 all told, when they were a second division team, winning the FA Cup with Billy Bonds as the captain. Their previous European victory over 1860 Munich was 1965. Bobby Moore was the captain that year. And Declan Rice follow in those footsteps and lift the trophy here this evening. This is not the biggest game of his career. It might be if they win it, but he has played in huge matches before for England. The European Championship final being one of them. Free kick goes in favour of West Ham, just short of the halfway line, left of centre. Referee is just having a word with Bonaventura. It's his first major final. The referee too. I'm sure there's a bit of nerves in that officials' dressing room tonight. And the assistant over the far side, who's been a little bit flag happy, may well have been suffering from those. Offside flag is up once again as West Ham try to build the play. And it's a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Yeah, the other assistant on the far side is Pau Cebrian Davis, and we have a female assistant on the near side, Guadalupe Porras Ayuso. Referee Juan Martinez keeping an eye on the VAR as well.
Well, just looking at Declan Rice and Thomas Souček, Paquetá so far not been able to get on the ball anywhere near as much as I'm sure they would like. You'd have to say Amrabat, Bonaventura, Mandragora have just had the upper hand, and Declan Rice shaking his head. Well, it's because they see you as a threat. They are going to have a certain way to stop you, and you've got to then find the answer yourself sometimes when you're a marked man, as Declan Rice so far has been.
It's a problem-solving gig as well, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, it is, and as much as your manager can give you help, you've got to find that out yourself on the pitch up against your opponent.
And this is the second final of the season for Fiorentina. They lost the first one to Inter Milan, and they are determined not to lose a second one. Antonio trying to roll Milenkovic. So there was a little clash between the two. Milenkovic went down looking to try and cause trouble. He's back on his feet now. The referee said play on. Kwame's picked it up and just cut infield. He's played it towards the edge of the penalty area. Baraghi with the delivery. Jovic with a header. Back across the face of goal. Away by Sofau. Comes to Dodo. Flicked into the air by Souček. Jovic can't touch it because he knows he's going to be offside. It's going to go out for a corner on this near touchline. And this is where they are dangerous, Dean. Their set-piece delivery. We spent the morning looking at them. Baraghi's delivered 5 assists in Europe this season. He scored a free kick from some way out earlier in the campaign for Fiorentina against Salernitana on the 3rd of May. It was from 57.91 metres. His in-swinging delivery from this near side is a danger.
Oh, it will be. Delivery's excellent, but also what we noticed is those second phases. When that ball is headed down, they've scored a few goals in this competition as well, in terms of looking for those knockdowns and those second balls in and around the penalty area. It's the first time as well, just that last attack, West Ham looked a little bit panicked in the area. There wasn't that organisation that was required.
The West Ham fans again launching those cups at Baraghi, the set piece taker over on the far side. Baraghi about to deliver the ball left-footed in towards that near post, and at the near post free was Milenkovic. He didn't get his header at all right, but if he had done it, was a certain goal. That delivery was pinpoint perfect, right into the near post. Milenkovic had got free, and somehow he steered over.
He basically just drifts off the goalkeeper, Areola, and no one really spots that run from Milenkovic. He just basically runs from the goalkeeper towards the corner of the 6-yard box, and then just looking for that flick. They're very, very lucky that he was basically facing the wrong way, so he's trying to head it backwards towards the goal behind him, and he just got it all wrong.
Well, we did warn you when we were talking on Talksport Breakfast this morning about those deliveries that they are capable of. Milenkovic has committed a foul over on the far side. Well, certainly Antonio thought so. He went down and then got back to his feet. Milenkovic, it was a bit of a rash tackle, it must be said, in the left full-back position. And the West Ham fans are almost certain that they think it should have been a foul. And it should have been.
I mean, it should have been a foul, but Antonio again is looking for the foul rather than the opportunity of running on. He's still on his feet, Antonio, and then goes over the top of Milenkovic, and therefore that's why they haven't given it to you. But when we've seen the replay, it looks like a foul.
Cleared away by Terracciano, the goalkeeper for Fiorentina. He kicks it long this time, high up the field. It comes back, and then Antonio guilty of getting in a little bit of a confrontation with Luca Ranieri.
He's not, again, Ranieri's stepped right across him. He's just trying to chase the ball in behind. How are you allowed as a defender that's nowhere near the ball, allowed to just completely block off an attacker who's trying to chase the ball into the corner where the fullback has got it? I don't see how the officials can't notice that.
No, the referee's not really helping West Ham out at this moment in time. He has just given a free kick. Luca Ranieri once again pleading his innocence, but Antonio has this time won the free kick. They've reacted quickly. Rice maybe just overhit the pass in towards Sofao. Antonio's not up with play yet, and it's down the right side with Bowen. Bowen trying to get towards the edge of the penalty area. Goes on the outside, produces a cross into the box. Amrabat into the air. Souček is around the goalkeeper, who will collect this, bring it into his chest, and he'll clear it away.
That's got to be an area that they can really work, isn't it? When they get out to Jared Bowen or Ben Rama, then you just see Souček switch on. He thinks, this is my moment, and he drifts towards the back post. There's a lovely little clip delivery, wasn't it, from Bowen? Souček hadn't quite got there in time.
Just got to be careful not to rush it, West Ham. Try and make things count. And the referee really has got to heed the warnings about the dark arts and the tactical fouls. West Ham have got to be wise to it too. Dodo into Bonaventura as Fiorentina come forward. It's a heavy pass by Bonaventura down the right channel. Too heavy for Nico Gonzalez. It will run out of play in front of the West Ham supporters away to our right hand side. We play 29 minutes. You're listening to Talksport. It's Fiorentina 0, West Ham United 0. Still 69% possession for the Italians. The Italians who finished 8th in their league and come into this game with quite good form. West Ham's form coming into the game has got a little bit better. 7 wins, 2 draws, 5 defeats in their last 14 games in all competition. They will hope that they are finding their peak at just the right time. It's evenly matched so far. Clash of styles. Bowen trying to tuck it forward quickly for Antonio, who just maybe drifted offside. It was cut out by Milenkovic and kicked clear, and Zuma will see it back to his goalkeeper. It's a bit of a bobbly one for Alphonse Areola, but he deals with it adeptly, and it goes up towards Antonio before Amrabat gives it away. And Bowen into Antonio. He should have played that blind Bowen into Antonio.
Haven't they been loose,
yeah,
West Ham? When they've won it back, they've been really sloppy with the ball, and it just invites more pressure. That's your opportunity when you win it back, to find that bit of quality and then build your counter-attack.
And Fiorentina have given the ball away in high areas so often, that West Ham have had those opportunities just to take a little bit of time and then think about the break. But it has been just a little bit too rushed. Let's see if they can do something here, because Emerson's pitched it in the left full-back position, played it into Paquetá, got the return, darted down the left-hand side, got towards the edge of the penalty area, drilled across through the centre, away by Milenkovic, comes back to Emerson, and now Ben Rama takes it on, moves towards the edge of the area and dives. I mean, he's so blatantly dived, he's going to get a yellow card. It was absolutely ridiculous, and the referee was always going to be all over that, and he's gifted up a promising opportunity. And you know what, he might have been fouled on the way through. There may well have been a leg for him to go over, but it was such an obvious, terrible dive that he's picked up a yellow card.
Well, he has. The referee was right there, and unfortunately for Ben Rama, that leg that was there, dangling, got taken away just as he was about to go past. And then he trapped his legs together and almost salmon dived past the player, and rightly so, he's got a yellow card. I mean, that sets a precedent for me. I feel like we've already seen that kind of play acting without a card, but the referee's absolutely right. West Ham have been just as bad, Antonio once and now Ben Rama, as Fiorentina were.
Emerson's won it again, left side, tries to come through the legs and does get through the legs of Nico Gonzalez, plays it infield, picked up by Souček. Back on the left-hand side now is Ben Rama, tight to the touchline. Emerson's done well to wriggle free. He's high up inside opposition territory. He's played it to Paquetá. Again, they're just slightly loose in those areas, and it's going to be a throw-in down in front of us here in the right full-back position for Fiorentina. 0-0 the score on Talksport.
I mean, it's going to be difficult for West Ham. There's that pressure from Fiorentina. They have got the best in terms of winning the ball back with the least amount of passes for the opposition. Fiorentina, better than any team in Serie A. They will hound you once they do lose the ball.
Have you been doing your PPDA stats again? Here is Gonzalez down the right side. Slide tackle comes in beautifully from Naif Agurd to stop Nico Gonzalez from going any further. Again, those cups rain onto the pitch down that end. Towards Nico Gonzalez, who picked one up actually and took a gulp out of it, and then it goes out for a corner.
We don't want to see that. It's just mindless to throw things onto the pitch.
been such a brilliant week, by the way. Behaviour's been so good. It's been nice to be around. The atmosphere's been really positive. And now Baragi's just got one right on his head. And there's about 5 or 6 now raining down in front of him. This is going to be a massive problem, this. And now the referee has stopped the game. He's taking the Fiorentina players away from the situation.
Well, there's blood as well on Baragi's head.
He's got blood on his head. He's had to take him off the pitch. This is absolutely mindless. Paquetá, Sofao and Naya Figuered have gone over to the West Ham fans and said, calm down. Mikel Antonio's going over there and saying, do not do it. It's causing a serious issue. This is now going to damage the reputation of West Ham United in Europe. They've been brilliant over the course of the week. The atmosphere has been jubilant, party-like, rather than aggressive. And then tonight, we've had a series of incidents where they've been throwing plastic cups onto the pitch, and one of them now has been thrown with such a velocity that it has cut the head of the Fiorentina captain. And that is going to be the image that we see tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a bad cut as well on the back of Baragi's head. And it's just disgusting to see. I don't see why they do it. I just don't. We've had, like you say, it's been a great week. So far, it's been an excellent game, really contested by the two sides. And Declan Rice has gone over and tried to console Baragi and show that, you know, he's supporting him and he doesn't condone them actions. He's very, very angry, Baragi.
And Declan Rice now going around his teammates and saying, right, now calm down, keep your heads, think about what you're doing. And he's actually walking over towards the edge of the 6-yard box to have a word with Vlad Sofao. You know, I mean, look, I have to say, there is a situation here where, you know, you're asking the referee to be a little bit more lenient, a little bit more sensible.
Well, also the referee's assistant is right there as well.
What influence is that going to have? Now, they've had a result of this. They have put an announcement on the big screen and over the tannoy which says this: attention please, this is an important security announcement, stop throwing objects onto the pitch immediately, please respect the players and the officials, thank you. Now they've had to do that because of the cut that has happened on the back of the head of the captain of Fiorentina, Christian Baragi, when he went to take a corner. And as a result of that, I mean, if you're asking for any leniency of the officials, you're actually going to turn them in the other direction. I mean, it's a mindless, stupid thing to do. And you just hope now it doesn't harm the team.
Well, I know, exactly. Does it affect the players? Does it, you know, put a bit more fire in the belly of the Fiorentina players as well, just to stir them up, to put a little bit extra in? What you seriously don't want to do is get to a point where the players and the officials have to walk off the pitch because they don't feel they're safe if they can just take a throw-in or a corner.
Well, that is a legitimate concern. You know, the assistant on this near side is very close to Christian Baragi as well. Baragi now wants to come over and take the corner kick, even though Amrabat came out there. And the West Ham fans have got to keep their cool here and hope that the game continues without any further incident. 35 minutes, but there'll be significant stoppage time on the clock. It's 0-0 between Fiorentina and West Ham United live on Talksport. Corners come in, left-footed from Baragi, who hits it in towards that near post area. It's helped into the air by Kwame. It drops inside the box. Zuma didn't get anything on it. He does the second time. It goes back into the box by Ranieri, travels through the 6-yard box, and Areola steps on it, grabs it, and then takes it out towards the far side.
They've got to be really switched on, West Ham, from those set plays, because Fiorentina are excellent at almost ring fencing the area and making sure that ball stays alive and just nod it back in towards their players who are reactive to those passes. They know it's coming.
Both teams giving the ball away really cheaply here. That was really scrappy. West Ham won it back. Paquetá found Benrahma. He put it in field, gave it away. They gave it away back to Souček. He put it straight out of play on this near side. Everybody's just got to get their cool a little bit here and calm down slightly, because otherwise West Ham are going to end up throwing away a good opportunity. 37 minutes gone. You're listening to Talksport. The ball is out on the left-hand side, and Fiorentina are coming forward. Into the box they go. It's headed away by Naya Figuered up towards the halfway line, and then Bowen gets the wrong side of Kwame, wants a free kick, is going to get a free kick this time, 6 yards short of the halfway line.
Really sharp, wasn't he, Bowen, there? He read that brilliantly. He knew exactly where that ball was going to bounce from Antonio's flick. and just made sure he got his body in between himself and the ball, in between Kwame and the ball, and then just took the contact in the back and won the foul for his team. But you're right, it's really lacked quality, hasn't it, from a West Ham perspective especially. Paquetá's another one I'm looking at, and Amrabat, you've only got Amrabat to look at, so get close to him. Don't allow him to get the ball, turn, get his head up, play a pass, be as difficult as Bonaventura's being to Declan Rice to Amrabat.
Well, the Fiorentina boss said his plan was to disrupt West Ham by trying not to give them the ball in dangerous areas, work on tactical fouls, preventative tackles, to avoid counter-attacks. There's been one or two, but West Ham haven't used them. They haven't had any composure when they've been on the ball. They just had a free kick just short of the halfway line, won by Jared Bowen, and it was ballooned out towards the near touchline. Benrahma couldn't keep it in, it was far too high for him, and then it was given back to Fiorentina. They've then given it back now to West Ham, who are throwing it down the touchline, and it's cleared by Milinkovic, forward by Rice, against Gonzalez, trying to add composure to the game. Rice nips in, wins it, another foul has been given, and it stops the momentum once again. 39 minutes on the clock, 0-0 on Talksport.
It's the final, Sam, isn't it?
It's definitely a final.
It's got everything that feels like a final. Stoppages, players being down, fouls just constantly being given, balls being given away. That's what finals do. They become that way because of what's at stake.
Last time that West Ham were in a European final, they suffered disappointment. 1976, they lost to Anderlecht in the European Cup Winners' Cup. Not picked up a trophy since 1980. Fiorentina haven't won a trophy since 2001 when they won the Coppa Italia. And they too have been starved of success. And that's why there is tension in the air. And that tension has been ramped up by that incident where Baraghi was injured, having had a plastic cup, a beaker, thrown at his head with enough velocity to cut the back of his head. He's strapped up now with a purple headband plastering wrapped around the top of his head over on the far side. It's Fiorentina who have the ball. 0-0 the score. Kwame couldn't get hold of it. It's away by Sofao. Antonio protects it, but can he release it to Paquetá? He can, who's tackled by Amrabat. Keeps hold of it. Cruyff turns and moves into a bit more space on the edge of the centre circle. West Ham in possession here. Now it's worked out to the left. Benrahma, the Algerian, looking to take on the fullback Dodo. He goes on the outside of him, and it goes out for a corner. There was a touch from Dodo, according to the assistant on the near side, on the far side, sorry, and the referee was closest to it, and it's out for a corner. And West Ham haven't had too many opportunities to get the ball in the box in the early stages of this game. Just played it down the touchline, didn't he? Dodo did go towards it. I don't think he actually did get a touch, do you?
No, he didn't. He didn't. That's why he was right in the referee's face, saying there definitely wasn't a touch, wagging his finger.
Fiorentina fans now throwing stuff at Emerson, who takes the corner, left-footed, in towards the middle of the goal. It's towards Zuma, who put pressure on Milinkovic, who heads it behind, and it's out for a second successive corner to West Ham United.
Really good defending from Milinkovic, just got a big arm out, rod of steel, and wouldn't let Zuma climb all over him. It's a brilliant header.
More things being thrown onto the pitch by the Fiorentina fans this time. Emerson delivers a decent cross towards the far post. Antonio was pushed inside the penalty area. It struck his hand. It comes back to Rice on the edge of the box. He cracks it against the defence, and eventually it's cleared away on this near side by Fiorentina. One back by Benrahma. Emerson takes over. Good run by Benrahma down the left. They haven't used him yet. Kwame's brought him down. It's going to be a free kick to West Ham. 10 yards back from the edge of the area. That was a chaotic bit of play, but it's resulted in a West Ham set piece 10 yards back from the edge of the box.
Chaotic, you're absolutely right. It's just there's no flow to the game whatsoever.
Well, there's a bit of a confrontation involving Aguerd and Emerson and Luca Ranieri, Milinkovic as well. Was there an incident inside the penalty area prior to that where Antonio felt he was pulled down? The VAR didn't check for a penalty, as far as I understand it. Zuma's still protesting, suggesting that Antonio was tugged.
I didn't see a lot in it, to be honest. And also, I think as you're falling, if you're throwing your arms in the air and your legs in the air, that's not a natural movement again from a player. Free kick then to be taken on this
near side, Said Benrahma, who's the subject of the chant from the West Ham fans away to our right at 0-0 in the Europa Conference League final, live on Talksport. We've got the Champions League final on Saturday night, live with build-up from 6 and a preview show on Friday night from 7. But we're concentrating on West Ham, who have a free kick here. It's going to be Emerson who drips it left-footed towards the far post, away by Ranieri, further by Amrabat, and then it's picked up by Paqueta, who takes it down the right side, now in the right wing position. Sofao delivers across deep towards the far post. Souček keeps it alive into the open box. There's no one there, and it's cleared away and out towards this near side by Luka Jovic, getting back to help out his defence. That ball from Sofao finding his checkmate at the far post almost set up a great chance for West Ham.
Oh, it's a great delivery, wasn't it? Just tease the keeper, doesn't it, to come and collect it. He gave up on that, and then Souček, it's a free header. Head it back towards Bowen. Bowen is there free. If you just nod it down to him, he's got a free shot on goal. Instead, he just helps it into an area, hoping the West Ham player is there, and there wasn't anyone there. That was a half chance.
Half a chance for West Ham United, and they have been few and far between at both ends of the field. Fiorentina haven't had a shot on target in the game yet. West Ham have had one. It came after 43 seconds. We've now played 44 minutes live on Talksport, and it's still goalless, with the noise thumping away to our left-hand side, drums being beat, flags waved in a furious manner, and we've had incidents and controversy, but no goals as yet in the final. The goalkeeper for Fiorentina, Terracciano, clips it long towards the right-hand side. Emerson wins a header, but illegally so, according to the Spanish referee. Another stoppage, another free kick. Another loss of momentum in the game. There hasn't been much.
No, they're trying to bore their way at the moment, aren't they, to a victory. Both sides, really, in terms of any contact now hitting the deck.
But it's not a surprise. We both said this morning. I think you said it on White and Jordan. I said to Laura and Ali this morning, this is going to be, and West Ham are going to want to make it an ugly game. Fiorentina have contributed to that as well.
Yeah, they have. And how difficult does it make for the referee? What is and what isn't genuine contact? Really difficult for him.
Kwame down the left-hand side. Key factor is 0-0. Both teams are still in it. West Ham are still in it. 45 minutes just about to go up on the far side. Here is Kwame trying to trick his way into a position where he can pass the ball out towards the far touchline. He gets that wrong. It goes straight out of play. There'll be 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45 live on Talksport. Throw in is launched down the touchline by Sofao. Doesn't reach Antonio, who is feeding off scraps at times. And then it comes into midfield for Fiorentina, just in front of the centre circle, and it's picked up by Amrabat. Infield to Jovic, back to Milinkovic. There's no engagement on Milinkovic, who's allowed to wander a long way, and then Bonaventura goes down the right channel, delivers across towards the far post. Sofao takes no chances and just definitely heads the ball out of the penalty area. Bowen comes back to help out. It's in the left wing position. Baraghi hits it against the back of the defender, and Alphonse Areola will collect here as the ball loops into the air and drops into his arms away to our right hand side. 0-0. 4 minutes to go of injury time before half-time.
And that is an area they could utilise. Fiorentina is West Ham's left-hand side. Emerson preferred to Cresswell and Benrahma. Benrahma does not do the same defensive work as Bowen does on the opposite side. And it was brilliant movement from Gonzalez, who just sort of dropped deep away from Emerson, who didn't know whether to go to him. He crept towards him, and then a brilliant run from Bonaventura just in behind Emerson. Lovely little flick over the top from Gonzalez, and he was in. Did well in the end to stop a decent cross.
Talksport, where all the big European finals live, with the only radio station that's brought you all 3 European finals this season. Last week we brought you that unbelievably turgid Europa League final, which ended in huge controversy, and tonight we brought you the Europa Conference League final from Prague, where we hope there's no more controversy. Here is Mandragora on halfway for Fiorentina in that dark purple with white trim, played across the back 4 to Milinkovic. Then shepherds the ball out towards the right touchline. Dodo, signed from Shakhtar Donetsk, who was in the Europa League semi-finals 3 years ago, plays it infield towards Bonaventura, who's had probably the most touches out of all of the Fiorentina players, with the exception of Amrabat, who likes to dictate from deep. And then Gonzalez tries to play it down the right-hand side, and Benrahma did get back to block the run of Dodo, and he tracked his runner this time, nudged it behind, and it's away for a Fiorentina corner. Another one from this near side, the left wing swinger. It's coming in again.
Well, he got lucky actually that he got a touch, didn't he? Because Dodo was the other side of Benrahma, and if he hadn't have got that touch, Dodo's turning and he's inside the box, totally unmarked. Fair play for Benrahma for getting back, but that can't happen too often because you won't get yourself out of jail.
It's amazing that a team from the beautiful city of Florence can produce such ugly football at times, isn't it? Here is the corner, short this time to Amrabat, who whips the ball into the penalty spot, headed into the air by Jovic, away by Declan Rice, who hooks it over his head from inside the penalty area, and it goes out for a throw-in over on the far side. This is Talksport. Vincenzo Italiano likes to play good football, really, but we just haven't seen enough of that tonight. When they've got hold of the ball, they haven't had the crispness of pass, and West Ham, when they've benefited from the turnovers, haven't made the most of them so far. I think both managers will be happy the scoreline is 0-0, a little bit frustrated.
I think that Fiorentina, the way they've played and West Ham have defended, that is what I expected. I thought it would be difficult for them to break West Ham down, especially in this first half. What surprised me is how poor West Ham have been when they've won the ball.
Here's Nico Gonzalez down the right-hand side. He whips across in, left-footed towards the far post. Kwame with the header, great save, comes back towards Jovic, who dives and puts it in, but the offside flag is up, and West Ham have a reprieve. Well, Alphonse Areola stopped the initial effort with the help of the post. It came back to Jovic, who allegedly was in an offside position. There is a VAR goal check here, and there is nervous tension among the West Ham support. I think it's going to be offside.
Well, it's just, does Jovic step?
It's really, really tight.
Does he step that little bit too far in that anticipation of the follow-up? Because it's a brilliant header, by the way.
It's really tight. And I do think there's another problem here for Jovic, who's been struck by a cup from behind the goal.
I don't think he has. I think it's when he's gone to head it into the goal, he's took a whack, obviously, from the defender trying to clear. I don't think that is to do with the cups that were behind the goal.
There's another barrage of cups that have come onto the pitch behind the goal.
It's not from that. It was from, as he's gone to head it, he's taken a whack in the nose trying to head that in.
Well, I hope that's the case. But it's certainly, again, it's a nervous moment, this, for West Ham United, because this is really tight, because it looks like someone's playing him onside. It might be Pakatara who's playing him onside in the sort of left side of the defence as that ball comes back off the goalkeeper. And there is serious consternation here. It's taking a very long time to check this goal. They are checking the offside leading to the goal. They're doing the crosshairs to make sure that the millimetres are checked. And the referee just waiting for the instruction. I think the goal is going to be chalked off. He's pointing to the sky. I think he's given the offside, and West Ham do have that reprieve. And I've got to say, there was a lot of faces behind the goal away to our right that were nervously arcing their necks up towards the big screen, waiting for the decision.
But do we now say, what a save from Areola from the header initially to stop that going in? Did he get a touch onto the post?
Well, he did, and West Ham survived just about right at the very end of what has been a contentious first 45 minutes in the Europa Conference League final. We had an effort from Antonio in the first 45 seconds, which was the only effort on goal in the entire first 45 minutes. We had a cup thrown at the captain of Fiorentina, Biraghi, which cut his head. It meant he had to leave the pitch, and UEFA had to announce on the big screen and on the tannoy for the supporters to calm down and stop throwing missiles onto the pitch. We knew it was going to be tight, we knew it was going to be tense. It's only going to get more gripping, but it is finally poised in the final, and both still have a chance to claim something historic. At half-time, it's Fiorentina 0, West Ham United 0.
Just with that offsides at the end of the first half. Brainless from the West Ham fans, by the way. The cup that caused the injury to Biraghi and cut his head was actually two cups together that landed flush. Now, putting two cups together and throwing them at a player, you must know that you're going to cause an injury if you make contact. And that's exactly what happened. Cut head, he had to have it bound up. I mean, what they need to do is identify which moron threw it, stick him in the cells for the night, and deal with him tomorrow. What an idiot. And actually, when there was another corner at that end, in that corner, Dean Ashton, and the cups stopped. They stopped throwing the cups. Then as soon as the ball went out the other side of the goal, that side, who hadn't had a chance to throw any cups, thought, oh, it's our turn now. I mean, how moronic do you have to be? It's idiotic. These are human beings. I can't really understand what they think they're going to achieve by this, other than causing somebody injury. Do they really want to see a player with a cut head? Is that their goal?
That's the problem. You know, most of us, the majority of us, want to come and watch the football and enjoy the football and have got no interest whatsoever in hurting anyone that's out there to entertain us. Yet there's the odd idiot that feels that it's the right thing to do. It's horrible to see. There's no way a player should feel like his safety is compromised. And the officials, by the way, the referee's assistant was right there by the corner flag as well. And then it's the same. When Emerson then goes and tries to take his corner, the Fiorentina fans think, well, you've just seen your captain get a cut head from something. Now we're going to throw something. It's just mindless. We hate to see it.
It's moronic. I'd like to talk about the football, but there's not been a lot of it, to be honest with you. And I think the tempo was set because West Ham came out of the blocks flying. They went straight forward, had a shot on target within a minute. I thought they were like, oh, they're right up for this. This isn't going to be Mark Warburton's cagey first 15, 20 minutes. And then Mikel Antonio, Jared Bowen gave away a stupid foul on the far side. Mikel Antonio delayed the free kick, and all of a sudden West Ham's early tempo was gone. And that's the tone set for the rest of the first half. Possession-wise, Fiorentina have dominated. They're a little bit unlucky not to be in front, in my opinion. West Ham have been absolutely terrible on the ball. When you think about some of the good players they've got who know how to caress a football, I think they've been truly dreadful. They'll be in that dressing room now having some serious regrets.
Yeah, they will, and I think David Moyes will be saying that, because what else kills that momentum and that drive that you've got is giving the ball away really cheaply. So then your midfield players don't have that urgency and maybe just take a step back rather than that step forward because of the looseness of the passes that we've had. I kept looking, Aid, across, because West Ham were that side, and I kept catching you in the corner of my eye, shaking your head. Every time Antonio, Bowen, Paquetá, Ben Rock, they were all guilty at one time or another of just giving the ball away, whether it was a poor touch or the wrong pass or getting it stuck under their feet. This is a European final. This is where you've got to let all that go, and you've got to really show your quality. The best players do, and they've really struggled in that first half. Well,
West Ham have been bad. I think that you would be right to question some of the decisions. There's been an inconsistency with the officials' decisions. I mean, there was an incident early in the half. Kouame, he literally backed into Soufal and fell over and got a free kick. And for the life of me, I can't understand how he's got a free kick out of that. Gonzalez, who was having a serious word with the referee as he left the field, how does he ever stand up? He's always on the deck. It's unbelievable. Does he want to sleep? It's unbelievable. And then Ben Rama, for the same token, is right to get a booking for diving. That was atrocious from him.
It just ruins the game. It ruins the spectacle, because nowadays it's really obvious. You know, we get the screens and you see the replays of it, and it's just so obvious, you know, and it's just horrible to watch. And I actually feel sorry for the officials. How is the referee meant to make those correct decisions when you've got so many players trying to deceive the referee? It's a really difficult job for the referee to keep hold of this game and try and make the right decisions because of the players themselves.
Yeah, it's not been great at all. West Ham need to get better. They need to start playing some football. They need to be better. And Fiorentina are better than what they're showing as well. But that chance at the end, the offside was given. That was a very, very tight one. And but for Areola in the goal, it would be 1-0 to Fiorentina.
Aid, the way West Ham have played is the reason I think some of the West Ham fans are tired of David Moyes, because they look like a team that's trying not to lose rather than a team that wants to win the game, and that's wrong. There's no problem whatsoever, I don't think, in setting up, being deep, being hard to beat, but then when you get the chance to really go and attack, there's got to be a bit more ambition than there has been. There's got to be a bit more quality than there has been. It's just been really poor.
really, really poor. And I think that David Moyes has waited for this moment a long, long time, over 1,000 games, to get to this moment where he's in a major European final, where he has a chance to lift a trophy at long, long last. And they've played like that in that first half. Well, he's got a chance now to give him a team talk, and let's just hope he can deliver the right message to those players, because that was awful first half from West Ham. They're incredibly lucky not to be behind, and sadly the biggest talking point is an idiot who's thrown a cup at a Fiorentina player and cut his head. It's not been the night we were expecting on Talksport. At half-time, it's Fiorentina 0, West Ham 0.
Want round-the-clock free football news? Get the Talksport Edge. Live scores and big-name interviews? Get the Talksport Edge. From transfer fees to injuries? Get the Talksport Edge. There's even live text commentaries. It's all on Talksport Edge. Talksport Edge is the free football fan app that keeps you a giant step ahead of your mates. Get the ultimate edge on everything football, first, fast, and for free. Talksport Edge. Download it from the App Store now. iOS 13 and above only. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Try, you will always find that cars are hard to hide, but easy to tax. So don't risk it. Tax it with DVLA at gov.uk/DVLA/taxit.
A battle has been waging on since the invention of the wheel. The battle for the front seat.
Banksy front seat!
It's that innate human desire to own the view, the space, the power. The all-new Honda HR-V Hybrid is here to bring about peace, with back seats that feel as good as the front.
I'll sit in the back.
The raised chassis and low window frames from front to back give everyone the views. The fuel tank hump is gone for more foot space, and the legroom is roomy. And in terms of power, there's USB ports in the back too. So everyone's a winner! Honda. The power of dreams. Available on selected grades.
Screwfix Sprint delivers from store to door in 60 minutes or less. Order now exclusively on a Screwfix app. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
As a brand new day of sporting action dawns, make sure you got all the latest form and odds at your fingertips with Talksport Breakfast and the Coral Daily Download. Get up-to-the-minute team news and special offers on all the big matchups in one essential package. Make sure you're up to speed with the Coral Daily Download every morning from 6 on Talksport Breakfast with the Coral Racing Club. Experience racehorse ownership. Join the club for free. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Captivating coverage.
How about that? The Europa Conference League final. West Ham versus Fiorentina on Talksport.
Now, if you're thinking, as many are, I believe, of leaving Radio 2, head to Virgin Radio, the home of Chris Evans, Graham Norton at the weekend, and Ricky Wilson as well. Drive time, listen on DAB, your smart speaker, or download the app for Virgin Radio if you want a bit of music. Let's get the half-time odds here in Prague with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Are you in? Let's go. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
So it's Fiorentina 0, West Ham 0. Fiorentina 21-10 to win. West Ham 13-5. The draw in 90 minutes is 21-20. Fiorentina are 11-8 on to lift the trophy. West Ham are evens. Luka Jovic to score the first goal was 13-2. Price boosted now 7-1. And that's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Are you in? Let's go. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Well, subs are out there on the pitch just knocking balls around, and many of those... here's the thing, actually. I've just been through some of the social media from some of the West Ham fans who I know are in the end away to our right, the end where the plastic cups are being thrown from, and I don't think anybody's excusing an individual who's throwing a plastic cup. However, there's things we need to take into account, maybe lessons to be learned for the future. Hard plastic cups, the refillable ones, possibly a bad idea to have them at a venue. And actually, this venue is being blamed by a lot of fans for being a bit of a joke. We talked about the lack of segregation between the Fiorentina and the West Ham fans, how there's lots of West Ham fans in the Fiorentina end. And actually, that's causing a little bit of discomfort from some fans who aren't throwing cups and just want to stay here and enjoy the game. They're feeling maybe a little bit intimidated, and there's maybe a nasty edge going on. And I think... You have to say, Dean Ashton, I'm glad it's in Dublin, 50,000 venue next year, the Aviva Stadium. To have it in Prague is one thing, to have it at a 20,000 stadium, and again, I'll reiterate, nobody's excusing an idiot who throws a cup at a player and causes an injury, whether it causes an injury or not. Nobody's excusing that behaviour. But this is not actually, as lovely a stadium as it is, it's not fit for purpose tonight, is it?
No, it doesn't feel that way. The atmosphere has been excellent, but you know, when you think how close as well the supporters are to the pitch, I know nowadays we see that real distance between fans and the pitch, but again, we don't excuse that. It's mindless behaviour that, as Sam was absolutely right, that's the sort of thing that tarnishes your football club when you're travelling in Europe, is those sorts of things, especially when you see blood pouring from the back of the opposition captain's head, and again, that will be the headlines probably.
And indeed, I mean, years ago West Ham really did have a reputation. Their fans had a reputation, and actually the couple of nights we've been here in Prague, it's been a wonderful atmosphere. There's been nothing negative to report. The West Ham fans that we've encountered or seen from afar have been absolutely brilliant. They've been gathering together and been absolutely fine. Now, they may be frustrated with some decisions. They may be frustrated with the way their team's playing. They may be frustrated with some of the actions from Fiorentina players throwing themselves to the ground. But I'll stress again and reiterate once more, it is none of it is an excuse. The ground, the proximity of Fiorentina fans, the behaviour of opponents, the way your team's playing, referees, officials, whatever, none of it is an excuse for what we saw in that first half, which was nothing short of a disgrace. And let's just hope there's no repeat of that with the Fiorentina keeper up that end for the next 45 minutes. Elsewhere, there's news headlines being made in football. Jude Bellingham on his way to Real Madrid for £100 million, we believe. Not bad for a kid from Brum. Lionel Messi has now agreed to join David Beckham's Inter Miami. That is apparently confirmed. So he's heading there next season. We knew he was leaving PSG. And, of course, the big story is golf this week. Rory McIlroy has reacted to the shock golf merger by saying it'll be good for the sport. Dean Ashton, you love golf, don't you? How do you feel about it all? You all right?
I think it's a horrible look for the sport. I do, because you've had someone like Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods backing, you know, a tour that have come out and said, you know, some very, very strong things about the Saudi-backed golf league, and then all of a sudden that has just been turned on its head when there's been, you know, you've put a divide between a lot of the players because of what's happened. And how is that meant to just all tie together again? It's a bad look, and it's made a lot of golf fans turn off.
Yeah, it's been very, very strange. I think it will settle down, but wow, what's happened in golf is almost beyond comprehension. I don't think anybody could have predicted the last year or so in golf, but here we are, and Rory McIlroy saying that eventually it may well prove to be good for the sport. I mean, what else can he say, really, to be honest with you? We're waiting for the players to come out for the second half. We've talked, Dean, about David Moyes delivering the right message, an important message, because this is 45 minutes that will impact on West Ham's history. Every single player, it impacts them, and David Moyes, it affects his legacy as well.
It does, and he'll be really disappointed that in possession they haven't shown anywhere near their best qualities. That'll really have frustrated him in that first half. But the one thing he's got is still level. He's got this second half. They can't be any worse. That's without a shadow of a doubt. So can they regroup, and can they offer a lot more in this second half? Because Fiorentina are a good team. They're not a great team. You know, there's no reason why West Ham cannot go and win this half of football.
Oh, indeed. I wouldn't say they're there for the taking, but they definitely can be beaten. It is goalless at half-time, with the second half about to get underway. Fiorentina 0, West Ham 0. Here's my advice, 22 players on the pitch right now. Try playing some football. Put on a bit of a show. Give us at least a little bit of entertainment, please. 0-0, second half, live on Talksport in this Europa Conference League final, with the former West Ham striker Dean Ashton alongside Sam Matface.
Fiorentina make a change at half-time, and that is to replace the injured Luka Jovic with the tournament's top scorer, Artur Cabral. 25 UEFA goals in 41 appearances for Basel and Fiorentina. Maybe he will be the man to add the golden touch in the game. What difficulties now will he give West Ham's defence?
Well, he's a different type of player, isn't he? That movement that he will give, that off-the-cuff style that he plays with, and that real threat. I just wonder whether it was that kick in the face for Jovic has meant he's not able to continue, and Cabral's on early.
Well, we watched, there's another discussion here of a problem involving Souček and Ranieri, who's gone down immediately, rolling around as if someone has taken his legs away. Really, he jumped in the air, he got pushed in the back, and that was it. It's going to be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area, away to our right-hand side. I've run through the two 11s for you, and what's been quite a thorny night. Terracciano is the goalkeeper for Fiorentina. Dodo, Milenkovic, Ranieri and Biraghi, Amrabat and Mandragora. Bonaventura in the 10 position with Gonzalez and Kwame flanking now Cabral, who leads the line. A man who's got 17 goals this season, 17 in 47 matches, 8 goals in Serie A, 8 goals in 15 European appearances. And now Kurt Zuma's got to try and deal with him. West Ham have Areola in goals, Sofao, Zuma again and Emerson. Ben Rice and Souček. Paqueta trying to get into the game a little bit further on, and then Bowen on the right side, Benrahma on the left, and Antonio through the centre. West Ham win it back and then give it away inside their own half, and Dodo goes into the box on the right hand side, produces a cross deep towards the far post. They're queuing up, it comes out on the left hand side, it's whipped back in by Mandragora, and it's smashed away by Emerson, who throws his head at the ball, gets it out of the penalty area, and Fiorentina come forward again. Biraghi chased by Bowen, back to Mandragora, and he was put under pressure from Paqueta. West Ham clear it, but they can't get distance on the clearance, and it goes nowhere near Antonio. The gap between him and the midfield is huge. We're only 90 seconds into the second half. West Ham United 0, Fiorentina 0. And once again, the game settling into a pattern where Fiorentina have all of the ball. They had 68.5% possession in the first half, their highest level of possession in a UEFA Europa Conference League game this season. Ball sent in towards the edge of the penalty area. It goes over everyone, comes through to Kwame, can't get it under control, and Sofao clears out on this near side. Dean Ashton.
Well, already that's a lot quicker in terms of the delivery into West Ham's penalty area. As Italiano just said, we need to get bodies in the box. We need to get the ball in earlier, because I just keep seeing purple shirts darting towards the penalty area.
Bonaventura plays it out wide towards the right. Dodo gets it, skips back in field. Rice pinches the ball, takes it away, and now Antonio's got to protect it, got to hold it, got to drag his team up the pitch. He runs forward, draws a foul from Nico Gonzalez and wins a free kick. He's going to be important now, Antonio, isn't he?
He is, yeah. That again, brilliant. That's when he's at his absolute best, isn't it? Is when you think there's no real opportunity to get up the pitch, he'll do it himself. He'll just go on one of those runs, he'll shrug people off, he'll win you a free kick. That's already better than the first half, where he was a bit loose with his touch and his running.
Well, Fiorentina have dominated plenty of games for 60 or 70 minutes this season, only to stumble in the closing stages. It happened in the quarter-final second leg against Lech Poznan, when they conceded in the 65th and 69th minute and only avoided elimination thanks to 2 late goals. In the semi-final return game against Basel, they shipped 2 goals in the last 20 minutes after controlling much of the contest, and they needed a 128th minute goal in extra time in order to get into the final. West Ham were hoping that pattern continues. Here's Rice, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Bowen heads it down. Was he pushed in the back? The referee said no. Again, spreads it left. There's space for Benrahma. His shot takes a deflection. Goes out for a corner on this near side.
Well, I mean, is this going to be looked at? Because Bowen looks like he's just going to chest that down. And from nowhere, he just gets barreled into the back. And then it hits him on the face.
Doesn't look like it. Corner. Potential penalty check has come up on our screen, but the referee has moved very quickly to suggest that that isn't going to be the case. There wasn't much contact, was there?
No. Once we've seen it on the monitors in front of us, Bowen again's got to be stronger. You know, that's a chance there to take that on your chest. Edge of the box, runners off you. Instead, you're looking for the penalty.
Well, the referee is blowing his whistle and allowing play to continue, despite the fact that the scoreboard is saying potential penalty check. There's not going to be one. Left-footed in towards the near post, flicked away by Cabral, helping out his defence, and he flicks it right the way through the penalty area. It runs out the other side and goes out by the corner flag and away for a throw-in to West Ham United, whose corner was whipped in towards that near post, and Cabral did really well to deal with it. And now it's going to be tossed in by Mikel Antonio, warming up for one of those torpedo long throws. He approaches the touchline and then whips it in. The goalkeeper comes out brilliantly, Terracciano, and comes and grabs it high above the heads of everybody. No one really attacked it.
It's because he started on the penalty spot, Terracciano. He just waited and said, I'm coming to get this.
Well, another problem. Someone else down over on the far side. Nico Gonzalez has gone down in front of the dugouts opposite us, claiming that he's been whacked in the nose. And there was a bit of a tussle over on the far side. I tell you what, when this game is over, maybe we should send a tape of the 1965 European Cup Winners' Cup final between 1860 Munich and West Ham United, and look at the differences in behaviour.
Yeah, night and day, won't it? I mean, I see it as desperation. You know, players are so desperate to win that they will try and get the opposition sent off, win penalties when they're not there. That's how desperate the players are just to win.
But it's just
and it looks ugly, though. Yeah, it is.
It's a terrible look, and it stains the game. You know, trust yourself to be good. Go and play.
Imagine that.
Go and enjoy the football match. That's what everyone's come here for. You've got here for a reason. Now go and display your talents. 52 minutes on the clock. Remember, Fiorentina, who have scored an inordinate number of goals this season, 97 in 59 games before today, 52 in Serie A, 38 in the Conference League. Most of them have come in this competition, 6 in the Coppa Italia. It's the second most prolific season in the club's history, yet they haven't had a shot on target in this game, as Antonio presses Amrabat and then the goalkeeper, who manages to clear. Upfield, there's a collision between Aguerd and Gonzalez. Gonzalez again wriggles around on the floor. The free kick has been given against him. It is going to be a yellow card for Aguerd. It was a bit of a odd challenge really for Aguerd, because he could never win that.
That's a serious one, I'm afraid. That is where you go in for the challenge and you really do clash. Gonzalez is definitely hurt in this situation, and again, I'm not sure he needs to really go for this. I think he can just drop off and let Gonzalez head this on.
Well, another stoppage in play. 0-0 the score, live on Talksport. 53 minutes gone. Manchester City take on Inter in the final of the Champions League, live on Saturday night. That game kicks off at 8 o'clock. We're on air from the Ataturk Stadium from 6. There's a Friday night preview show from Istanbul. Our learned friend Adrian Durham will be hot-footing it to Istanbul tomorrow to host that coverage. And then on Sunday night, a bit of fun for you, Soccer Aid with Ian Danta and Andy Townsend. And interestingly, when you look back at the replays, Aguerd gets an elbow in the bottom of his chin.
Yeah, he does. But Aguerd elbows Gonzalez right in under his arm into that rib as well.
Well, he's got a yellow card. And he's pleading his innocence, going over now to the fourth official to say the same thing.
To be fair, you don't usually get a yellow card when you take an elbow straight to the chops.
Which is why he's a little bit perplexed, I think. The Fiorentina fans turning up the volume away to our left, and there's quite a few stony, silent faces away to our right-hand side. The West Ham fans standing there, many hands propping up rather uncomfortable chins. The West Ham fans maybe need to raise their game a little bit. Biraghi, left side, delivers the ball. Stopped by Bowen, who's been terrific, especially getting back and helping out his team. Maybe he hasn't influenced the game as many of the West Ham players haven't influenced the game going forward, but he's got back brilliantly to stop any delivery from Biraghi, who's so talented at drifting the ball into the box. Milenkovic for Fiorentina, 0-0, 54 on the clock. Out wide on the right is Dodo, the Brazilian, trying to get the better of Benrahma. He goes past him, then cuts back, then on the angle of the penalty area, maybe 5 yards back from it, Bonaventura takes over. Dodo back to Milinkovic, and then all the way back to the halfway line for Fiorentina, who couldn't really find a way through those two banks of four from West Ham United, who are now just pushing a little bit further up the pitch and trying to commit Milinkovic to play a long ball forward, which he does do. Emerson heads it on, and then Benrahma can't get hold of it. Dodo's done very well again to win it far side, and Fiorentina have it once again. 67% possession over the piece. It's been a feature of their game. These two teams have only ever met twice before, both in the Anglo-Italian Cup in 1975. The first leg in Italy saw Fiorentina win 1-0. The return leg not taking place until 3 months later, when Walter Speggiorini's goal before half-time at the Bowlin secured a 2-0 aggregate win for Fiorentina. No goals so far in this game, but if it was a boxing match, I think Fiorentina will be edging it on points.
But that's what they're good at. You know, only Napoli have kept more average possession than Fiorentina. They're very adept at just keeping the ball, probing it into Bonaventura, Gonzalez, and then just lending it back and recycling it back out with Amrabat. You know, you have got to be patient, West Ham, but once again, in this second half, the quality when they've got the ball, West Ham, has just been nowhere near the level they're capable of.
Sofao halfway, tosses it forward towards Antonio, heads it back into the centre of the goal, but doesn't reach Bowen, and out comes Terracciano in a bright red goalkeeping kit and will clear away. Still 0-0. Remember, we will have extra time and possibly penalties if we can't split these two between now and the 90-minute mark. Here's Cabral, who does brilliantly to juggle with it, send it down the left. It's collected by Mondragora, who plays it back towards Cabral. Cabral centrally to Kwame, who's got a chance to hit it right-footed. It's straight down the throat of Areola.
That's good, though, from Cabral. Slightly different to Jovic. Willing to then run that channel and open up a bit of space there in the middle for Kwame, who received the pass, looking to bend it into that far corner. And in the end, couldn't have made it any easier for Areola, just tickling it into his tummy.
He's had a bit of a let-off, by the way, Areola, just before half-time, because he didn't get anything on the effort from Jovic, which hit the post. From Kwame that hit the post, and then when it came out to Jovic and his effort went back towards goal, actually he should have done much better with the second attempt and spilt it into the net, and it was only that Jovic was offside by a hair's breadth that West Ham United got away with it, and he got away with it. 0-0. Sofao to take the throw on this near side, progressing down the right touchline. He launches the ball in behind the defence. Bowen chests it down, tries to take on Biragi. There's a claim of handball. Well, Bowen is quite vociferous about it. The assistant on this near side was blindsided, I think, shielded by the body of the defender. But there is a potential penalty check here with VAR.
I mean, the referees can't see it as well.
It's gone yellow, and now they're holding the game over on the far side. This could be a huge moment for West Ham United. Fiorentina have had a habit of giving away penalties over the course of this season. And the VAR, Juan Martinez, is looking at it. We haven't seen a replay of the incident yet. We're just about to. The ball came over the shoulder of Bowen from the throw-in from Sofao. He chests it down. Well, the arm was out. It's very similar to the Jack Grealish incident that we saw the other day in the FA Cup final, in that it touches the fingertips of the defender. It's got to be a penalty. It has to be a penalty. His arms are away from his body. It has to be a penalty. The way listen, we said it on Saturday. The law, the way it's written, that will be a penalty. There's absolutely no consistency in the game if it isn't. We don't think that those should be penalty incidents, but it should be a penalty. It's going to be a penalty for West Ham. I'm sure of it.
And again, we will say that this shouldn't be a penalty, because when we played the game, Bowen takes it on his chest. Biragi reads where he's going to take it. He puts his arm across Bowen like every good defender should do, and as he does that, he brushes it with his fingers.
It's a penalty.
And that is all it is. But you're right, it will likely be given as a penalty. Really clever though from Sofal and Bowen, just to make sure that long throw was taken and took.
So the referee over on the far side is looking at the referee review area. All the players are standing around him. I do hope they conduct themselves properly here, because this is going to be a penalty. The referee, Carlos Del Ferro Grande, is reviewing the incident. He's taking instructions from Juan Martinez, the VAR. He's seen the incident several times. The ball's thrown in over on the far side, over the shoulder of Jared Bowen, and then the arm of Baraghi comes in behind and pushes the ball away, and a penalty is given for West Ham United in the Europa Conference League final on the hour mark.
It is so similar to the Jack Grealish penalty. We know as players, Baraghi has done the right thing. He's put his arm across Bowen because he's read where the chest is going to go, and it's brushed his fingers, and therefore in the laws of the game today it is a penalty. And what an opportunity this is going to be for Said Benrahma.
Well, it looks like there's going to be a change over on the far side. Said Benrahma, who has been terrific from the spot. He's scored all 7 penalties that he's taken for West Ham United. Kurt Zouma, who I was worried about prior to the game, has been replaced by Thilo Kehrer here because he's picked up an injury. Meanwhile, Said Benrahma is crouched down inside the penalty area away to our right-hand side, and West Ham are preparing for a huge moment. A game which has been thorny, a game which has not developed into the kind of battle that many hoped, more the game that we thought was going to play out in front of us. Saponara comes on for Kwame, and the whole of the West Ham support behind that goal away to our right take a sharp intake of breath. No team has scored more penalties in major European competitions this season than West Ham United. This could be a turning point in their history. Said Benrahma, so reliable from the spot, stares down Terracciano, looks over his left shoulder and then approaches the ball, right-footed, rams it into the net. West Ham United lead in the Europa Conference League final, and West Ham's Prague takeover has its incredible moment. It could be a defining moment for David Moyes and this team. Said Benrahma jumps into the crowd. West Ham are jubilant. Maybe a fortunate award of the penalty, but it was converted with menace and violence, and West Ham United lead by a goal to nil.
And Said Benrahma, I'm sure, will never take a more important penalty than that one. But man, is he good at them. He was so cool. He took his time. He didn't rush when the referee blew the whistle. It was on his terms. He went through his process, and he sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. He's gone to fake as if he's going to wrap his foot round this and put it into the goalkeeper's right, and then he just calmly side foots it high into the right hand side of the goal, and then this time cups of joy in the West Ham end all over themselves.
Fiorentina 0, West Ham United 1 in the Europa Conference League final. And what are Fiorentina going to do now? They've dominated the game. They've had just one attempt on goal. And now Lucas Paquetá, trying to win the ball high up inside Fiorentina's half, is turning to the fans and saying, right, now it's your job to pull us through.
You've got to just let that adrenaline slow down, the calmness now from West Ham. Can you be really clinical now when you do get the opportunity? Bowen hacked down by Amrabat.
Well, amidst all that, Thilo Kehrer came on, and he replaced Zouma, which we told you just beforehand, but we might have to ask Dean Ashton what he thinks about how that might change the way that West Ham defend, because Zouma is so good at dealing with physical characters like Cabral. And although Kehra's done well, he's done well a lot of the time playing at right back sometimes as well, hasn't he? West Ham have a set piece, sending the ball high into the evening sky, out towards the left. It's tossed back in by Benrahma. Oh, headed back out of the penalty area by a combination of Cabral and Aguerd, who both went up for it, and it comes back to Declan Rice. 1-0 West Ham United lead in Prague. Is it going to be a magical night in Prague for West Ham and their supporters away to our right-hand side?
Well, even more so now, it's going to be that concentration. It's really important. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see Sofal now not go and overlap, tuck in alongside Kehrer, almost do that job as a pair.
West Ham fans singing their European anthem. A win tonight takes them into the Europa League group stages next season as well. Ball flicked on into the penalty area, looking for Bowen, smuggled behind, but it's an offside flag up away to our right-hand side.
Well, of course, you're going to expect Fiorentina to be pushing and pushing, and I think that's where it's going to be really crucial. Can West Ham then be really clinical on the counter-attack if they get the opportunity?
Here on the other end, Nico Gonzalez trying to get the ball into the penalty area. Cabral hits it first time at Thilo Kehrer, and it rebounds away and goes out on this near side, and then after protesting in the referee's face, Mandraga is given a yellow card. Mandragora given a yellow card after protesting because he was accusing Thilo Kehrer of handballing inside the penalty area away to our left-hand side. It was the proximity was incredibly close there, and Cabral stuck out a foot and it hit Kehrer in the body, I think.
They're going to want things levelling up, aren't they? Of course, it was a good move from their point of view, Fiorentina. Kehrer's arms look very, very close to his body. I think it probably does actually strike his arm, but it's right tucked in by his hip.
It was the inside of the bicep and half the chest, wasn't it? So no potential penalty check away to our right-hand side. That changes the mood inside the stadium. West Ham fans have been a little bit quiet up until the point in which they were awarded a penalty by VAR. And they thought they were going to be hampered by Florence, but in the end the machine helped them out. Here is Bonaventura into the box, takes the ball down and rams it in. And West Ham are caught cold. A long ball into the box, headed down and into the path of Bonaventura. And the equalising goal draws scenes of jubilation amongst not only the support but also the replacements over on the far side who spill onto the pitch. And West Ham's lead was a short-lived one. Bonaventura inside the penalty area, not picked up, and West Ham United have been pegged back almost immediately after they've taken the lead in Prague.
I mean, when it comes to a simple goal, you won't get much more simpler than this. The ball is just laid up over the top of Emerson. Gonzalez gets up nice and early, takes a ride on the back of Emerson as well, just nods it down to his teammate Bonaventura, takes a beautiful touch with the left foot and then just hits it into the floor between two defenders. Areola's unsighted, he can't move quick enough once he sees that ball come through the two defenders. It's a great finish from Bonaventura.
It's a great finish, but it's a goal that could have been avoided. From a West Ham perspective, a team that defends so well. I think we always thought that Fiorentina would get on the score sheet at some point tonight, being the second most prolific of their campaigns and their history, but not like that. And so quickly after going in front, those West Ham fans just moments ago, full of noise and colour and exultation, and that atmosphere has been pierced by that brilliant finish by Bonaventura. But should he have been able to get that shot away with two defenders around him as well?
Well, the issue you have is, and he's been very good at it, Bonaventura, is he's been coming deep, but then he's gone really high up with the centre forward, and that was the case. He just stuck himself between the centre back and the midfield, and no one picked him up. Declan Rice, Souček just didn't see the danger to go out and maybe track Bonaventura, and in the end it dropped. I've got to say, I thought he handled that situation so quickly. He needed to. The touch and then the volley into the ground, he knew what he wanted to do as soon as that ball dropped to him. That is hard to defend.
Header down by Nico Gonzalez. Bonaventura turning and firing it. And out of nowhere, Fiorentina, with their second attempt on goal in the game, have scored an equaliser. It's 1-1 with 20 minutes to go in the UEFA Europa Conference League final. And the West Ham fans singing again as the ball comes in from the right-hand side towards the edge of the box. Again, Gonzalez goes up and tries to reach it, can't do so. It's collected by Areola this time, high above the head, and there is a purple haze away to our left-hand side. Pyrotechnics have been let off in the Fiorentina end, the smoke billowing under the floodlights as West Ham look to try and launch a raid forward. It's Paquetá into Antonio, into the penalty area, up against the goalkeeper and shoots it straight at him. Wouldn't have counted anyway because the flag went up on this near side. And it wasn't a great finish from Mikel Antonio, who has got 6 goals in 8 games in this competition before tonight.
We haven't seen that enough though, have we? Paquetá on the half turn, looking to thread a pass. He's not been in too many positions, and Mikel Antonio just tried to do that trick that you do as a forward, where you kind of run offside and then dart back onside. Couldn't quite do it quick enough. That is, you're right, that is a Jimi Hendrix style smoke.
Oh yeah, and the noise levels that had been dampened by that West Ham goal have been turned up to 10. Here is Gonzalez right side, coming into the game late on, goes down the right side, low cross into the box. Cabral gets hold of it, sets it back towards the edge of the area, left-footed shot just wide. What a let-off for West Ham. Mandragora just inside the box, had the ball laid back to him beautifully by Cabral, who's made a real difference to this team. Gonzalez, the centre forward, does brilliant into Cabral, nudges it back towards the edge of the box, and Mandragora, well, he can't believe he's missed.
Well, they're getting more joy, aren't they? Down Emerson's side, they're doubling up on him at times there. Ben Rama isn't quite coming back the way Jared Bowen has been, and he's just getting caught out a couple of times. Emerson into Cabral, so unselfish with his play.
I think they'll bring on 4 nows in the not too distant future as Cabral comes forward, tries to nudge it through Kera. Kera holds up well, and then the ball comes back to Paquetá. They try and keep it on this near side West Ham, but they can't. They're under the cosh here. All of a sudden, after taking the lead very quickly, they're now defending for their lives. Baragi's come over to take a throw-in on this near side. He wants a different ball from the ball boy. He takes 4 or 5 steps back from the touchline before he approaches the chalk of the white line and then tosses it down into the path of Saponaro. It comes back to the edge of the penalty area before eventually West Ham managed to clear, and it remains 1-1 on Talksport in the final. Saponaro has got it once again. And Saponaro, who scored a terrific goal the other night against Sassuolo, has given away a free kick 10 yards short of the 18-yard box. Composure is going to be so important here. West Ham United, who haven't had the best of seasons, haven't played the best of football, had an opportunity, not just for the club, but for some of the individuals to put a frustrating season beyond them and try and make their mark here. Declan Rice misses a tackle as Bonaventura, the goal scorer, sends it upfield. It's won back by Emerson. Out to the left it goes. Ben Rama, the West Ham goal scorer, skates forward now towards the Fiorentina goal. He's on the left edge of the penalty area. His effort bobbles up to Souček. He doesn't take care of it, prods it forward. Baragi gets it away. And now Saponara brings it out towards the left-hand side. Interception this time by Aguerd, won by Dodo. Ben Rama pushes him over, gives away the free kick by the touchline in front of the West Ham dugout. He was a little bit too aggressive there, Ben Rama. 1-1.
They haven't been able to reset yet, have they, West Ham? Going ahead, having that joy that you have, that release that you get, just not being able to then control things, control those emotions.
I hate to be the person to remind you of it, but what does it feel like when you've got yourself ahead in a final? You've done it with West Ham, got yourself into a position where you feel you're secure, and then immediately you give it away.
Oh, it's very, very difficult because it just saps the energy out of you that you've just had, the joy that you've had as well. But what you've got to just try and reset is it's still level. You know, there's no point in being too hard on yourselves. You know, you're still level. It's not like it means that you're 4-0 down. Composure still.
Milinkovic in a race with Paquetá, who managed to get away from it. He's brought down by Milinkovic, and Milinkovic is going to get a yellow card there over on the far side for what was quite an agricultural foul. It was a good run by Paquetá, who showed a good turn of speed after it was played down the left touchline. He got the better of Milinkovic, and he had to bring him down, and he did.
It's the first time I've seen Milinkovic really struggle. Antonio hasn't been able to quite put him into those positions. Paquetá there showed a real turn of pace to get the other side of Milinkovic.
Yeah, that was important. He was hotter and faster than Milinkovic. And he's given away a set piece. Actually, I thought it was a little bit further down the left-hand side. Here is Pablo Fornals, by the way, just about to come on for West Ham United. He'll be on in just a few seconds. But they're going to get this free kick out first of all, with 15 minutes to go. We could be heading to extra time, live on Talksport. Emerson to take it, left-footed, swings the ball towards the penalty spot, headed away by Cabral, then comes back to Sofal, who's never scored a goal for West Ham United. A rather ambitious effort on goal, which went careering into the West Ham United fans. In fact, he hasn't scored a goal since December 2019, here, when he was playing here.
Exactly, he must have transported himself back to that moment and saw it in his eyes that here, back at his home, that he was going to score a rocket from outside the penalty area, and instead all he did was meant that Fornals was on a lot quicker.
Benrahma off, Fornals on. And is that the right move from David Moyes? Because he's making it more defensive rather than more attacking, isn't he?
You could say that, but I think that right-hand side for Fiorentina are getting a lot of joy.
Gonzalez picking the ball up, brilliant ball out towards the near side. Saponara sends the ball centrally, hits Sufal, comes back out towards the edge of the box. It was shoveled forward by Ranieri, wasn't great. And then again, rushing the clearance, looking to try and get out to this near side. Gives it straight back. Baraghi travels forward, edge of the area, right-footed shot, and it goes straight towards the near post, where, springing his arms up into the air, Alphonse Areola makes the save.
I mean, what Fornals gives you is more of a defensive mindset on that left-hand side, and I think that is needed
to protect Emerson.
Yeah, exactly. But he'll also give you that attacking threat if you can start to build up through midfield, which they haven't really been able to do.
West Ham led for 5 minutes before they were pegged back by a goal from Bonaventura, his 7th of the season. The man who made his name at Atalanta is a terrific player, and he has had an impact on this game, because in the first half he was nullifying Declan Rice. In the second half he's got the goal that have got Fiorentina back on terms here. 1-1 the score, and we're live in Prague. Night has fallen, and the tension that gripped us in the first 45 minutes is still very much clouding the judgment of the West Ham United supporters away to our right-hand side. They have fallen very quiet once again as Rice picks the ball up, drops the shoulder, runs forward, tries to release it out towards the left and Fornals. He dragged his team over the halfway line. With a winner throwing over on the far side. Emerson was being told by Fornals to take it quickly, but there's a problem for Luca Ranieri, who hasn't played much football. He's got cramp.
Yeah, again, people might think, come on, professional footballer getting cramp, not even into the 80th minute, but it's all to do with the emotion that a final brings as well, that energy that you expend pre-match, and the tenseness of the game seeps into the muscles.
Yeah, I just maybe got a little bit too tense and squeezed the water bottle all over my trousers. Here's Sofal down the right-hand side, handball surely against Saponara. Referee has played on, and it's come out on this near side, and out for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Sofal is having a word with the assistant, asking for an explanation. The Spanish referee is calling him away from that. He's saying, well, it was clear handball, referee.
It was. It just ricocheted off Saponara's thigh onto his hand.
Here comes the Sofal torpedo from the right wing position. He's level with the edge of the penalty area. He's attacking the goal away to our right. Sofal's delivery right towards that near post. Comes back to Souček, who shoots. It's saved. It's back across the face of goal. It hit Dodo. Was there another chance for a penalty? No, there was a foul in the build-up according to the referee.
Where was the foul? Was it Antonio just shrugging and backing in at that near post when it then ricocheted off him into the path of Souček? I think that's where he's just lifted his leg just to kind of flick it on. Milinkovic has stooped to head it, and then he's caught him in the face, which is obviously where the referee has given the free kick. But it's a good save, by the way.
Yeah, the goalkeeper's done really well. Terracciano under pressure from Bowen as well. Free kick was always going to be given. I don't think the goal would have counted had it gone in, but it was again a Sofal long throw that caused the damage, and another ball upfield towards Bonaventura is causing problems now for West Ham United, but they've won it thanks to Fornals, and then Amrabat takes it back off Antonio. Paqueta takes it back off him, and then he's dragged to the floor over on the far side, and Amrabat then is penalised, and they're squaring up to each other on the far touchline. The referee has to step between them, and it's going to be a free kick tight from the left hand side just before the halfway line. 80 minutes gone, 10 more nerve jangling minutes to go live on Talksport. I mean, the stress, the anxiety, the apprehension amongst those West Ham United fans is such a stark contrast to the Fiorentina supporters away to our left-hand side, who are drinking in every moment and trying desperately to raise their team's level.
It's because, and that's, as players, it's that same feeling.
Souček heads the ball on, saved by Terracciano. Now, I don't think that was going anywhere near the goal, but I don't think he knew his coordinates, his orientation was wrong, and he's tapped it behind and given away a very cheap set piece.
Oh, he has. And also, it's not as if it was a powerful header. He could have just gathered that.
Well, that could be a mistake. West Ham going to try and punish him here. The ball is over on the far side, a corner to be taken. Emerson's delivery into the near post. Souček went up, but it was away by Cabral. Bowen tried to win it on the edge of the D. Was it a free kick? Didn't come his way. Rice's delivery is too big, too high, too forceful, and goes straight out of play over everyone's head, and it's out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. And now Bowen feels as if he's hurt the top of his thigh there, and he's going to need treatment from the West Ham medical staff. We played 82 minutes on Talksport in the Europa Conference League final. It's one apiece. West Ham scoring a penalty thanks to Said Benrahma on 62 minutes. Just 5 minutes later, they run done a little bit like, and if you saw the FA Cup final, two very similar incidents. The penalty was similar in its award, in the fact that Grealish touches it with his fingertips, and so does Biraghi to give West Ham the penalty. And the goal in its construct is very similar. It's a long ball up, knocked down into a player inside the penalty area. Obviously Gunners was on the edge and it was a sweet volley. This was slightly different, but the construct of the goal was very similar.
And also it's that you're watching the ball. You know, as a player, when that ball goes in the air, you can't just watch it. You've got to think, who am I picking up? Where might this land? And as a forward, that's how you're taught to think. And a defender, you've got to try and do the same thing. And West Ham just switched off.
Saponara on the near side for Fiorentina. Could be his last game in purple because he is about to be out of contract. The ball's delivered into the box towards the far side. Nico Gonzalez can't get there. It's away by Emerson this time. It's a poor ball by Fornals. Again, inviting more pressure. Too many times West Ham have got hold of the ball and then cheaply handed it back to Fiorentina, who have dominated possession in the game. 3 shots on target each. It's one apiece on Talksport. Fiorentina trying to craft another opportunity. West Ham have defended largely well, apart from the goal which they conceded after 67 minutes. Back out wide it goes towards the right hand side. Bonaventura will touch into the middle of the park. It's a shot from Biraghi, who can hit them from distance, but it's a terrible effort which goes about 15 yards wide of the goal.
I mean, he's better than that, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Cristiano Biraghi has got a sweet left foot, and that was an incredibly sour finish. I mean, when you take those strikes on as a fullback when you're up there, you've got to try incredibly hard to get that towards the target, because as a forward as well, it gives you an opportunity of a spillage or a ricochet, just something.
Third change of the night for Fiorentina. Ranieri, who was a surprise inclusion is taken off at centre-half, and on comes Igor, the Brazilian 25-year-old. Well, he's had quite a nomadic career for someone 25, had spells in Austria and Italy after leaving Brazil. Ball played forward by Sofao, down the right channel. Fornals trying to keep it alive. Again, absolutely zero awareness about what's around him. Instead of taking it down, holding the ball up, getting into the channel, he's just blithely headed the ball back across the face of goal where there's no one in a white shirt.
It's just added to the frustration. When you come on as a substitute, you want to make a positive impact. So
also,
far,
you've been watching the game. You know what they've done wrong over the course of the 60 minutes that you weren't involved for. Here's Emerson over on the far side, on to Antonio, back to Emerson. Now West Ham progress forward. Amrabat with a poor tackle over on that far side, and he might be in danger here of getting a yellow card. By the way, there was a yellow card during a stoppage. Well, Amrabat's got one now, a yellow card, but there was a yellow card for Alfred Duncan, one of the substitutes who came through at Inter Milan and has made a career at Fiorentina. I think for mouthing off against the fourth official over on the far side.
No, it was when
he confrontation.
It was when he ran across the pitch to celebrate the goal.
He wasn't the only one who did that.
No, he wasn't, but that's when he got it, because he'd just run from that opposite side right across the goal mouth to celebrate with his teammates.
Well, both central midfielders have been booked for Fiorentina, and West Ham have a free kick over on the far side. Declan Rice is going to deliver it. A yard in from the left touchline, perpendicular towards the edge of the penalty area. He'll hit it right-footed and arc it in towards the near post. Souček is a threat, so is Aguerd. Bowen and Paquetá are in there too. Antonio's at the near post. It's Rice's delivery in towards Souček, and it's headed away by Cabral. There's good delivery that from Declan Rice. They're looking to get on the escape here, Fiorentina, as the ball's cleared, but it's tidied up by Sofao, and it goes all the way back to Alphonse Areola.
Shame, because that was an outstanding delivery from Declan Rice. All that would have taken was just a little touch, and that would have flashed past the goalkeeper.
There's a bloke and a kid. It's a kid. He's about, 14, in a 1986 West Ham jersey, trying desperately to encourage his team behind the goal away to our right. There's loads of kids with dads here, dads that seen West Ham get to finals before, and kids that have hardly ever had the pleasure of seeing this West Ham United team going to a major final. They're here. They're 3.5 minutes away from the end of the game. They're 3.5 minutes away from extra time. 1-1 the score on the night in the Europa Conference League final. Extra time and penalties possibly looming. And it's nearly 10 to 11 at night here in Prague, and we will have the sports bar, which should come your way in the next 10 minutes. It won't, I'm afraid. It's going to be a little bit later than that. So they'll be delayed, Jamie O'Hara and Dean Saunders, but poised to take your calls at the end of whatever happens over the course of the next hour or so, live here on Talksport. Another tight European final, just as it was a week or so ago when Roma and Sevilla went all the way to penalty kicks. Gonzalez for Fiorentina, deep inside his own half, plays it back towards Milenkovic. Milenkovic to Igor, the centre-half, who's come on as a substitute. He's being given the run-around by Souček, goes back to his goalkeeper, Terracciano. And once again, West Ham have to just sit off and Fiorentina come forward. A bit of pressure from Fornals. The ball's switched from right to left, and Saponara plays it down the left-hand side, looking for the run of Mandragora. And then Paquetá comes into the right fullback position to win it. He holds him off with a bit of strength, but Cabral has done brilliantly and won the ball back. It's half cleared by Souček. Comes to Amrabat, right-footed shot. It's a good save down to his right by Areola. Doesn't score many, Amrabat. And West Ham are hoping that tonight's not the night he finds his shooting boots.
No, he's been excellent with the couple of saves that he's had to make from distance. Areola is taken in nice and cleanly. No worries for his defence.
Any mistake now will be pivotal. It will be defining. Remember, late goals have been scored by both these teams en route to the final, but none later than the 129th minute goal that got Fiorentina to the final. Free kick has been given against Igor, and Antonio has won it. And a free kick delivered into the box by Sofal on this right-hand side in the 89th minute of the game. Get this right. Come up with a chance, take the chance, and the trophy's yours. Sofal gets it horribly wrong. Goalkeeper misjudged it, but had enough pressure from Souček to draw the free kick, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. I mean, that was a bit of a letdown. Just a bit. I mean, you've got to know, Vladimir Sofal, you've got to know that you can't hang this up. When you've got a goalkeeper that's 7'9" in the Fiorentina goal, he's just going to claim it. So just hit one nicely away from the goalkeeper to give your team a chance. It's about the percentages. Souček has won it, didn't know where it was, and he sent the ball to Paquetá, who's released Bowen, who's running through on goal. He shoots and scores and wins the Europa Conference League final for West Ham United in the last minute of the game. Jared Bowen, you beauty, you absolute beauty. You will go down in West Ham folklore. Paquetá's poise on the halfway line, releases Bowen. He goes charging through the middle. He draws the goalkeeper. He comes up with a perfect finish. And West Ham United are in dreamland. And their 43-year wait for a trophy is going to end. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
As a boy, he would have dreamt of these moments, Jared Bowen. He'd have been in his garden pretending that it's Jared Bowen going through to win the trophy for his team. I tell you what, the calmness, the coolness of Lucas Paquetá with that pass, absolutely outstanding. And he was away, Jared Bowen. And tell you what, he had that, just that calmness when it was needed. Igor was all over him, and he just calmly tried to slot it past the goalkeeper. It just nicked off the goalkeeper's legs, but the joy on Bowen's face when he saw that rolling towards the net.
Oh my word, the West Ham fans are about to have the night of their lives. They have to concentrate now. They have to make sure that they don't allow their minds to wander towards lifting that trophy. They have to make sure that they repel what is coming at them, because there are 5 minutes of added time. 5 minutes away from the extraordinary. 5 minutes away from the trophy. They have to concentrate. So foul with a header. Fiorentina about to throw everyone at it. Mandragora commits a foul. Bowen turns round and celebrates once again because he's drawn it. And now West Ham United can feel, can smell glory for the first time in 43 years. Amazing goal, amazing finish from Jared Bowen, who had the coolest of heads after the coolest of passes from Paquetá. It was a sensational, brilliant ball which dissected the Fiorentina defence, and Bowen, racing clear, kept his nerve at the vital moment. And now they've got to hold on for just 3 minutes. Mandragora is off. Barac, who scored that late goal in Basel, is on.
In what's been just such an ugly contest, isn't it so sweet that it could be a beautiful piece of play, Paquetá and Bowen, that could decide this final. It was a great bit of play, the vision, the pass, the run, the composure, and then the finish. He even got the knee slide absolutely perfect.
Doesn't score goals away from home. He doesn't do it on the road, but he has tonight. This is a bloke whose dad almost went to West Ham from Merthyr Tydfil, but Merthyr Tydfil wanted too much. He has fulfilled that destiny and gone on to play for West Ham. And has he just scored one of the biggest goals in their career? Antonio out, Ogbonna in for the final few seconds of this final. West Ham United, who have had a terrible time of it in the Premier League, but a brilliant time of it in the Conference League, about to win a 14th game out of 15 in the Europa Conference League. That goal on the counter-attack may well just have done it. but they have to keep their nerve now. Long ball sent forward, up towards the edge of the West Ham penalty area. Repelled once again. Over the halfway line it goes. Keep your cool, West Ham. Keep your heads. You're about to go down in folklore. The ball sent up towards the right edge of the area. Bonaventura now on the edge of the box. It's cleared away by Thilo Kehrer. Bowen trying to protect it. We've played 94 minutes and 8 seconds. The ball goes long and high into the night sky. It bounces into the Fiorentina half. Bowen commits a foul. It's a free kick away to our right-hand side. It hasn't been beautiful. In fact, he's absolutely right, Dean Ashton. It's a moment of beauty on a thorny night, a sometimes ugly night in Prague. But that moment of beauty might be a defining moment in West Ham's history. 2-1 the score. Ball sent wide towards the right and Dodo. Fiorentina now trying to claw their way back into this game. Collected on this near side by Barac. Out to the left and Saponara. Blocked by Sofao. And it goes out for a throwing down by the corner flag, and Baraghi will come across now and try and weaponise this long throw. Instead it goes short to Amrabat. The flick on takes it up to Cabral. He heads it down. It's away by Fornals. Anywhere will do now for West Ham. We've played the 5 minutes of added time. We're seconds away now from West Ham qualifying from the Europa League next season and also winning this trophy. Was there a handball over on the far side? The referee said no to Dodo, who fell on the floor and fell on the ball. It's kicked clear up towards the edge of the penalty area. Sofao keeps hold of it. He's got to take care. Run it out towards this near side. Send it forward. Dig in. Get the ball clear. Get it up to Fornals, who just shepherds it out on this near side and then encourages, orchestrates a noise that emanates like a roar from the sidelines. 95 minutes and 40 seconds have been played. West Ham United again trying to repel the wave of purple coming towards their goal as they try and eke out this victory. The ball's out of play far side. Now it's back in again. Fornals has got it, but he's isolated. Gets it back towards the left-hand side. It's smacked clear by Emerson. High up, out towards the right. Paquetá now deep inside Fiorentina territory, trying to win a foul. Encourages a foul from Amrabat. Gets that foul, and precious seconds are wasted. David Moyes stands on the touchline over on the far side, calming down those around him, trying to ensure that none of that jubilation spills onto the pitch before the moment the referee from Spain blows his full-time whistle.
They're just poised, aren't they? Those West Ham fans behind the goal, they cannot wait to burst. The players, just calmness, all of them, arms outstretched, calm, slow, just let the time tick.
West Ham lead the final by 2-1. 96 minutes, 47 minutes played. A yellow card for Sofao for time wasting. He plays it down the right channel, gives it straight to the goalkeeper Terracciano. He's going to toss it back into the opposition half. The referee still hasn't blown the whistle. 97 minutes played. Forward and away by Naïf Aguerd. Over the halfway line it goes. Fiorentina can't get the ball into West Ham's half at the moment. Terracciano will kick it long. It's away by Thomas Souček, who's gone back to help out the defence. Ogbona's in there as well. There's almost forced centre-halves on the pitch now for David Moyes. The ball's played out left. Fornals plays it against the defender. A free kick is given over on the far side, and West Ham have one more set piece to defend. Christian Baraghi over on that far side leaves it for Bonaventura, who got the equalising goal. 97 minutes, 40 seconds have been played. Surely this is the last action of the game. There was only 5 allotted. West Ham scored in the final minute of the game. This is the free kick. This is the moment of supreme concentration. Terracciano, the goalkeeper, comes up into the penalty area. Alphonse Areola completely comes out and misses it, but it goes behind and away for a goal kick anyway. And then there's a bit of pushing going on involving Nico Gonzalez, and that's it! The referee blows the full-time whistle. No one is bursting this West Ham bubble. Its legacy is irons-clad. West Ham win the Europa Conference League. The players drive onto the pitch in a blur of jubilation, knees sliding towards their support at the far end of the ground. An historic night for West Ham United is complete. For the club of Bobby Moore, Alvin Martin and Trevor Brooking, the crowning glory for Declan Rice. Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio, 15 games, 14 wins, 1 draw. They have completed the conference unbeaten. European finals don't come around too often. If you're West Ham United, it may not come around again for a while. So listen, feel it. This means something.
What a night this is going to be for every single claret and blue supporters. Look at those scenes out to our right-hand side. That stand is absolutely bouncing. Enjoy it. You have waited far too long for this opportunity. There's no Steven Gerrard anymore. He's not coming out of the woodwork to spoil it. This is your night. Enjoy it. Declan Rice, raise that trophy to the sky.
It may be a competition that others look down on, but this may be a lesson to those people, because these are the nights you live for in football. West Ham have done it in magical Prague. Small stadium, but West Ham are massive, and this is a massive achievement. And those thousands of West Ham fans that have swamped the capital will be flying so high they can reach the sky. They have won the Europa Conference League in Prague by 2-1.
Well, what a night ahead in Prague. Those celebrations, every single West Ham fan bouncing up and down, and the joy on Moyes' face. Beaming smile as he ran across the pitch to celebrate with those West Ham fans as well. All the players jumping up and down in front of the fans. What a scene for West Ham United. And what a moment for Jared Bowen. Incredible, from non-league to this. Scoring the winner in a European final. Extraordinary from Jared Bowen. England completed it. Twins completed it. Winner in the Europa Conference League final for West Ham. Completed it, mate. Absolutely extraordinary from Jared Bowen. And Dean Ashton, we said just at the start of the second half, give us a bit of quality. Well, Paqueta did it. Jared Bowen did it as well. Bit of quality, won the game. Fair play, West Ham.
That's what you need in these massive games, is who is the players that can just, in those such tight moments, just be ice cool. Just let the game slow just for a second to allow your quality to shine through. And I have to say, Lucas Paquetá, it was just so simple the way he made it look. It's not. It's really not simple in a crowded midfield. But he spotted it. He just played it. He caressed it through to Jared Bowen. He timed his run perfectly. He'd got nothing all night, Jared Bowen. He was waiting for that moment when they switched off. And when he got through, he took his time, because he knew that could be the biggest moment of his life. And I'm so glad he took it.
Big hug between the skipper Declan Rice and the manager David Moyes. There was talk before the game of it not just being Declan Rice's final game for the club, maybe David Moyes' final game for the club. Well, we shall see on all of that. Neither of them are bothered about that tonight. Declan Rice has now got to prepare himself to lift a European trophy, to join the West Ham greats from yesteryear and even longer ago. Amazing scenes in Prague as West Ham United have done it. And the thing about that pass through to Jared Bowen, it's got to be spot on, it's got to be quick, otherwise it's going to be offside. Bowen's run has got to be perfectly timed. He's then got to hold off a complete monster that's trying to either foul him or stop him. And he's got to hit the back of the net past the keeper as well. The whole thing is magnificent. What a way to win a European trophy for West Ham United. Mick Carter, how are you feeling in the East End? Extraordinary. That's a way to please your father-in-law, isn't it?
Oh, just a bit. Honestly, I think the thing is, I spoke about it earlier this morning, that these games, they're not meant to be really enjoyed. They're horrible affairs. The tension, the pressure, it's just there. It weighs so heavily on you. But when it ends in that manner, in such a beautiful way, after such an ugly game, it's what it deserves. It's what a European final deserves. It's one of those moments. And it's gone West Ham United's way tonight. Every single West Ham fan, enjoy this. Take your time, soak it in, enjoy it. It's your night.
David Moyes, the first British manager to win a major European trophy since 2008. But Jarrod Bowen is the first English player to score a winning goal in a major European final since Alan Smith did it for Arsenal against Parma in 1994 in the Cup Winners' Cup, which is an amazing statistic, really, when you think of the trophies that English clubs have won over that time. It is a monumental moment. This is going to change that boy's life.
And rightly so as well. And we were there at the press conference yesterday, Dean. He speaks so honestly. This is a kid who knows where he's come from, doesn't forget his roots, finds himself in the Premier League, in the England team, in a European final. And he said he wanted to score. He wanted to do it for his kids, and he's absolutely only gone and done it. And it's the winner as well. Nobody can ever take that away from him. What a magical moment in his life. And he seems to me the kind of lovely guy who deserves to enjoy it as often as possible. Just keep reliving it. He's the kind of guy who deserves a special moment.
He does. You're absolutely right. What a proper bloke he is. The way he's gone into that football club, he's understood what the fans want. He's not once had an ounce of arrogance about him whatsoever. He's just constantly trying to improve. And tonight, he's got the thing that we all dream of. We all dream of having the moment where you score the winner in a cup final. And he's achieved that tonight. He should be so proud of himself. And the team should be as well. Because that was hard fought. That was ugly. They had to dig deep. They had to go against adversities of conceding that equaliser, and they've done it. They've come through, and it doesn't matter how you do it. It does not matter how you do it. It's getting over the line. They're going to have the joy now. They're not going to have to walk past the trophy and not be able to touch it or not be able to kiss it. They're going to be able to get their hands on something very, very special.
Absolutely spot on. A magical moment for Jarrod Bowen, for West Ham, all the players and all the fans. And let's just hope they can enjoy it. Listen, there were some horrible moments in that first half that we had to talk about at half-time. Thankfully, let's focus on the football and the fact that West Ham have won it and that Jarrod Bowen has got the winner, an Englishman with the winner in a European final. And not just that, they'll lift the trophy, they'll enjoy the night, they'll take it all on board, and then they're in the Europa League group stage next season. That's 8 English sides in Europe next season. And without West Ham winning this, it would have just been the 7th. So fair play to them. Congratulations all round. And let's talk about the manager and the coaching staff. Kevin Nolan, Mark Warburton, who was live and exclusive with us on Talksport yesterday. Paul Nevin on the coaching staff is also with England as well. David Moyes, he's had a lot of criticism. We've heard it from a lot of fans, from West Ham fans, about the way they play. West Ham United, the way they play has probably meant they've won this tonight.
Imagine his dad, eh?
Oh,
imagine his dad
down the pub
here tonight.
He is
exactly.
Here tonight, yeah.
You know, and I think that's what David Moyes will think. He'll think that's for you as well. You know, he's constantly backed him, and he's had to back himself as well, David Moyes. And you could tell yesterday in that press conference he knew how big this was, how defining it could be, how the pendulum would swing either way with that support. And he's gone and done it. He's been able to motivate his team to put in a performance to win the trophy. And rightly so, he's going to enjoy this.
Oh, he is, David Moyes. Just seeing a replay of him with the winning goal, leaping around, arms aloft, he couldn't believe it. And he actually said at the start of the season, he went public and said it, I actually do want to win a trophy to top off this career. I'm very proud of my career, over 1,000 games. I want to go on and win a trophy now, and he's targeted this. They came so close in the Europa League last year, all fell apart when they played Frankfurt in that semi-final. You were there, Dean. But in the final here, he knew he had a chance in this Europa Conference League. Let's not forget, this is 14th against 8th. 14th in England against 8th in Italy. If we were expecting true top quality, maybe we were being really optimistic. We got it in the end with the winning goal, but this was what he was targeting, a trophy. And he's gone and done it. So he's got that on his CV. And whatever happens with West Ham, whether he's still there, whatever, he's always going to have this trophy next to his name on the honours list at West Ham United. And there's not been many trophies, as you know, Dean.
He'll go down in history. You know, he'll go down as one of those iconic managers. Whether West Ham fans want that or not, he will. How hard is it to win a trophy for a club like West Ham United? They've shown that over the years. We've had a go and fail. So many have had a go and failed. David Moyes has been able to do it. He deserves huge respect for what he's been able to do, bringing this club a trophy.
And you know, we all raised an eyebrow when Fornals came on, replacing Ben Rama. But as Dean was saying in commentary, it had to be done to stiffen up that left-hand side. They win the ball in that area initially. When it comes through to Paquetá, then he plays it off and Bowen can counter-attack. So, you know, he's got to get a lot of credit here. And I don't think there'll be many West Ham United fans now that are going to be criticising David Moyes.
I'm pretty sure they won't mind eating their words. They will scoff those words.
Serve them up cold. Doesn't matter how you want to present them. No, they'll lick them up.
But you know what? We've been saying all this week, it's about the memories. Even if West Ham lose, the memories of the 2 years of European journeys that they've had, you know, will be everlasting for these fans. And now they've topped it off with the trophy as well. Were you there when? And there'll be so many matches along the way, goals along the way, the incredible Declan Rice goal against Ghent, just extraordinary moments along the way. And of course, so few could be here tonight, but those who were here to witness that winner from Jared Bowen, that he buried into the net right in front of them as well. It couldn't have been a better story as far as West Ham and the fans were concerned. Absolutely magical for them. And these are golden memories. This doesn't happen very often. You know, you've got Manchester City taking trophy after trophy. There's regulars like Chelsea who'll come back and win trophies. United will get the odd trophy here and there. Liverpool have been winning trophies recently. West Ham United, add it to the list, and it's a European one. I'm pretty sure I heard them singing Champions of Europe.
They did.
Why not? Why not?
We know what we are.
You can do what you like tonight. Tonight you're going to get away with it. You might as well enjoy it, because it is one of those rare opportunities to revel in this jubilation. And so they should.
I can tell you what's happening in the East End tomorrow, 6 p.m. We've been told that there is a bus tour parade. You may have seen on social media the winner's bus with all the livery on it. All had been prepared beforehand. Let's face it, it's got to be. If you're planning something like that, you can't just do it at less than 24 hours notice. Tomorrow 6 p.m. from Green Street, heart of West Ham land, to Stratford Town Hall, and that trophy, wonderful trophy, will be lifted aloft on that balcony there as well. But what a moment for all those EastEnders of old, the Billy Bonds, for Trevor Brooking, and the memories from others like Bobby Moore. I mean, so many West Ham fans, and we've said that there's a bigger fan base than people realise. You've said it going around the world. People have come up to you, they know who you are, and they certainly know who you played for.
Oh, I mean, it really surprised me, the fan base that West Ham have got, because of the history of the football club, because of the players that have played for them. You know, when you think of that, the players that helped England win the World Cup, some of those players were West Ham players, you know, and that has seeped through generations of West Ham supporters who follow the club far and wide. And it's been a long time, it's been a long wait, and they finally deserve their moment. And there's no doubt they're going to enjoy it.
Oh, there is no doubt about that whatsoever. And they've every right to enjoy it as well, and it's a great city to enjoy it in, as long as it is enjoyed in the right way. And tomorrow on that bus parade as well for West Ham United, Jared Bowen has made that possible. They've set up everything, the stage is ready for the trophy to be presented, but it looks to me like the players aren't yet ready. There's just been an announcement saying any fans that are on the pitch need to get off. One or two came on, quite a number were escorted off as well. Another fan has just run on the pitch. What an idiot, get off. Does he not realise there's just been a message saying get off the pitch, not get on the pitch? To be fair, nobody's causing a problem. It is all celebratory, but I'm sorry, you do not belong on the pitch. That belongs to your European champion players who are about to go and lift that trophy. Fantastic night for West Ham United. The sports bar will be coming up in due course. O'Hara and Saunders will have quite a bit to talk about as well. If you want to get your calls in now, 03717 222 333 444 on Talksport. And a reminder that Friday I'll be live in Istanbul for a preview show for the Champions League final. Can Man City make it a double? Well, they have already, a treble, you know what I mean. The preview show Friday night, 7 p.m, and then the game itself, Man City against Inter Milan. 6 p.m. our coverage starts on Saturday night, live from the stadium. Stuart Pearce will be there with us for Manchester City against Inter Milan. We're getting ready now for the presentation of medals to mark the Europa Conference League champions, who are West Ham United. Jared Bowen with the winner, David Moyes the manager, Declan Rice the captain, as we get ready to lift that trophy live on Talksport with Sam Matchpace.
Given Mubama, the London-born attacker who joined West Ham at the age of 8, he's only 18 years of age. He just thinks this happens every year. He won the Youth Cup last year with West Ham United, and now the Conference League as well. He was on the bench tonight, an unused substitute, and West Ham have decided that they will form a guard of honour for Fiorentina to go up and get their runners-up medals. The officials will get their medals first. The officials tonight mostly from Spain. Jesus Gil Manzano, the fourth official. The referee Carlos de Ferro Grande, who had a lot to deal with, especially in that first half. But first of all, Vladimir Schmitzer, who knows what it's like to play in these finals and knows what it's like to play in this city, places the trophy down on the plinth down in front of us, the Europa Conference League trophy, which is 4 kilograms lighter than the Europa League, which is UEFA's heaviest trophy, at 11 kilograms. It consists of 32 hexagonal spines, one for each team in the group stage of the competition. The twist and curve from the trophy's base up to the top on this huge cup, and it is a beautiful trophy. It's one of those really well crafted trophies that looks rather regal. 40 medals going to be distributed to the squad and staff members, however each club decide to see fit. But first of all, those officials who had a really tough night after what was a really ugly first 45 minutes in the controversial incident involving Biragi, have gone up and picked up their medals and then gone over the top of the plinth and away from the stage where West Ham very shortly will be partying once again. The Fiorentina players, many of their ultras have stayed here to witness them going up and getting their runners-up medals down in front of us and in front of the dignitaries down on the stage, including the president of UEFA, Alexander Seferin, who's placing the medals round the necks of those fallen Fiorentina players. Amazing really, they scored 99 goals over the course of the season, but didn't really threaten that much apart from the goal that they scored in the game in the second half to equalise here tonight. And there'll be one or two of those, I think, that are walking away from this final thinking about what might have been.
Of course, you know, it can not get out of your head. It lasts a lifetime, and I can testify for that. This walk that they are on now is the most heartbreaking walk you can have, I think, as a footballer, is having to go up, receive a medal, walk past that gleaming trophy knowing you are not going to get your hands on it. It is heart-wrenching to have to do that as a player, and I really do feel for the Fiorentina players.
Vincenzo Italiano, the manager, has just picked up his medal and walked away. Maybe it's like his last act as a manager of Fiorentina. He's heavily linked with a move to Napoli. But, he's very well thought of, but you do wonder, that decision to play Jovic instead of Cabral from the start, will that be analysed by the likes of Corriere dello Sport tomorrow morning and Gazzetta in the Italian press? Will they be asking that question? The decision to play Ranieri at the back instead of Igor from the start, will that be looked upon as well? Well, David Moyes is going up on the stage now to receive his medal, and West Ham are going up behind him. It was the golden ticket. The Edin Arena holding just 18,000 for tonight's fixture. Both sides received just 5,000 tickets. There are a lot more than that from West Ham inside this stadium. 3,000 were on offer to the general public. Some of them went to the broadcasters, commercial partners, the organising structure, UEFA, national associations. But West Ham United, who started their journey in Denmark, are now receiving their winner's medal. And look at the pride on David Moyes' face as he puts it round his neck and holds it, kisses it, holds it up to the camera to show that he is a winner. He is a winner. Those who doubted him now have to look at that golden medal around his neck. The backwater town of Viborg was the start of this incredible journey. They played Silkeborg and the Belgian bigwig Anderlecht. They went to Larnaca and Ghent and Amsterdam. Remember that Declan Rice goal against Ghent, the Fornals clincher at RZ, the double for Antonio in Cyprus. These fans have travelled everywhere. They took over the city of Prague and largely behaved themselves very well. There was a blot on their copybook tonight, but over the piece they have been magnificent. This is a moment for them, it's a moment for the owners, the group that lost David Gold this year, the manager who's been written off and discarded by Sociedad and Sunderland and most famously Manchester United. But it's going to be hard to shake him off now, that's for sure. David Moyes has fulfilled an ambition of a lifetime. He takes his place in the pantheon of British managers to lift a European trophy. And maybe this is the acceleration that the club needed to make the London Stadium their home, fondly remembering Green Street and Barking Road, but not hankering after it anymore. After all, this is what it was supposed to give them. They scored in all 14 European games this season, 16 wins in their last 22. They were the first team to win all 6 Conference League games. Their Premier League form dipped and suffered. But now, in maybe his last act as West Ham captain, he is treading in the footsteps, Declan Rice, of the great Bobby Moore, the first man since Billy Bonds to do it for West Ham. Declan Rice grabs the Conference League trophy, thrusts it into the Prague night, and West Ham celebrate under the green arch as the glitter is propelled into the night air. They are European trophy winners for the first time in a generation. Declan Rice leads the charge, the party begins, and it's going to take one hell of a stopping. West Ham are the winners of the Europa Conference League 22-23.
Amazing scenes inside the stadium. FA Cup 64, Cup Winners' Cup 65. You might want to throw in the World Cup 66, that's stretching it a little bit. 75 FA Cup, 80 FA Cup, and now Europa Conference League winners. West Ham United, as every single player takes their turn with the trophy, lifting it, getting a photograph as well. Medals proudly around their necks. What a night for these players. They're going to enjoy every single second. Bobby Moore told a story of the night they won the Cup Winners' Cup in 65, how the celebrations at the stadium were kind of cut short a little bit. They had a banquet, and then they all realised that their cars were at Upton Park, so they had to go back there. They opened up a bar at the stadium, and it was a very quiet affair, but that was the celebration that they enjoyed. Well, listen, they've got the summer off, these lads. They can have the party of a lifetime celebrating the trophy. Jarrod Bowen holding it like he holds his babies, and he will hold it close so much, lifts it to the sky. I can't get over his career, Dean Ashton. Non-league at Hereford, and they abandon their academy. He's like out of work and wondering what I'm going to do. Gets taken on at Hull, immediately they get relegated, but starts to play in the first team, gets spotted, and he realises, hang on, this is a player. Gets the move to West Ham, Premier League, England. Off the field, everything is rosy, and here he is scoring the winner. It's an inspiration, really, to those who may have setbacks early in their career. He's seen his academy abandoned, and then he's got relegated at his first professional club without really playing much of a game at Hull City. And he's come back from that to properly achieve in football. Big hug from Kevin Nolan. That was a Kevin Nolan finish from Jarrod Bowen, wasn't it? That kind of finish. But what a story, Jarrod Bowen. Absolutely extraordinary. Thoroughly deserves this moment. Hugging everybody in sight. Mikel Antonio with the trophy as well. Worked so hard, often alone up front as everybody else did the defending. And now they're singing "We Are the Champions." And why not? I don't think we're going to get much sleep tonight, Dean Ashton, and I think your head is in big trouble.
It is going to be primed for kissing, and I don't care. What a moment. Declan Rice especially there took his time. You could see the absolute joy on his face, that he knew that he was about to do something historic. He was about to do something for this football club that's not happened for a very, very long time. He absolutely milked it, and so he should do. A lot of pressure on his head before this game, and he played his part. So many stories, I'm sure, now that you see of lots of players. Jared Bowen, you're right, it's an amazing story, but they'll all have the stories of how difficult it is to make it, and then to have one of these nights, not many get to do it. And so, thoroughly enjoy it as Declan Rice wheels away with that trophy towards those supporters.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about Declan Rice because, yes, captain, at times he was working so hard, doing the job of 2 or 3 men. Really, there was so much defending needed doing. And then, towards the end, he had this burst on the ball. He dribbled over the halfway line, and I actually felt that kind of gave the rest of the team a bit of momentum, a bit of impetus, and suddenly they started to grow again and believe again. Look what our captain's doing. He's absolutely shattered, and look what he's doing. And suddenly, West Ham go and win the game.
You're right, there was a moment, another moment as well, right towards the end, where he just went on a run, just chasing every pass.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
He just
deep
ran,
into the other half,
He just ran and chased every single pass. He went to about 5 different Fiorentina players to try and win the ball. He didn't in the end. But again, it just slowed the play up. It shows his character, that he can dig very, very deep when you're absolutely shattered, to give even more because of what it means to him to win a trophy for this football club. And if it is to be his last game, then what a way to go out.
Well, couldn't really do much more, could he? You've got a tough job now, Dean Ashton, as Bubbles is playing and being sung. Let's pick out this evening's Man of the Match with Till by NatWest.
Man of the Match on Talksport with Till by NatWest, the card payment provider from NatWest. Till by NatWest. Tomorrow begins today. Fees, T's and eligibility criteria apply.
I must admit that Ben Rama scoring the penalty was a big moment, and when he went off I thought, this is the 2006 FA Cup final all over again. The goal scorer, the penalty takers are being taken off. No need for penalties. Moyes knew what he was doing all along. But Man of the Match, Dean Ashton, who are you giving it to?
It has to be that man, Jared Bowen, and not because of the winning goal. How often did we see him chase back and block a cross from Baraghi? One of the most important things that we recognised that Fiorentina had was that delivery from Baraghi. He got back, he defended time and time again. It was his chest that led to the penalty, and then it was his run, coolness, that has won West Ham this final. He fully deserves Man of the Match for all of those attributes that he brought to what was a difficult game. He seemed to be one of those shining lights.
Well, I must admit, around about 80-85 minutes, I looked at Jared Bowen and I thought he was injured, and I thought he might have to go off. He wasn't necessarily hobbling, but he certainly wasn't moving freely.
He had a dead leg, that's why. Yeah. He got kneed right in the thigh, and he still was able to then get on with it and not worry about it and moan about it. He just got on with his job.
And he got the reward just a little bit. I'd love to know how many miles he's covered tonight. An incredible performance, and I think that was a bit of a no-brainer. Jared Bowen, our pick for this evening's Man of the Match with Till, the car payment provider from NatWest.